at Mr. Lester Steakhouse, Cypress Bayou Casino, the only 5-star restaurant between New Orleans and Houston, bringing you another miraculous, if you will, episode of Implicit Bias. And of course, I say that with absolute sarcasm. We've got the crew here. You can see some of them on camera, so we're welcoming people in. Sam, how are we doing over there?
I think we're doing all right.
We're doing all right? We got a few people along?
Yeah.
A couple? So that would be, what, 2 as opposed to 3, which would be few? Oh, we've got 4 people in. That's fantastic. Yeah, I love it. Our tens and tens of people who are here with us, right? Because that is what we do. Look, we're just glad to be here. We've got a lot that we are going to drop tonight because, man, you know, things kind of popped off last week, Sam. I don't know if you saw the numbers. Did you take a look? Were you watching?
Well, you've been giddily telling me about them every time I talk to you. So.
It was because every time I watched, I was like, there's no way. There's no way this keeps happening. There's no way this keeps happening.
Did it surprise you then? Did you not expect something like that?
I expected something, but I didn't expect it 6 days after the podcast dropped to podcast. I didn't expect it to happen, you know, almost a week later. I really expected it to kind of, if it was going to happen.
We want to be dwindle and little. I was very surprised with the additional listeners. So it wasn't just one episode, it was multiple episodes.
Oh,
that's what I like. Just people sort of going on, they were like, you know what, I like this. That's what I think.
They either said I like this, or they're downloading stuff to try and save it and hold it against us later. It's one of the two. Either way, thank you for listening, because you know what, that no such thing as bad publicity, right, Renee?
Well, yeah, but the thing I'm worried about now is the ad
No, Renee, we've had this conversation.
Oh, yeah, it's true. I'm grandfathered in.
And besides, how the page of business and that.
But that's true. I'm waiting to see what happens.
All right, Sam, we ready for the monologue, or do we want to talk a little more? All right, we're good to go. You give me a 3, 2, 1, and we will go ahead and kick this puppy.
All right, hopefully it works. 3, 2.
The world hasn't ended. Everyone we know is actually still around. Some people's eyes maybe just can't see the live stream. The eclipse is done, but we are just beginning. We're making waves. We've made some headlines. Used and abused, sourced by the New York Times. This is your Implicit Bias. Hour 1 is brought to you by Piper's Haven, 3916 West Congress, and here in the Cigar Lounge at Mr. Lester's as well. Come on down to Cypress Bayou Casino, the only steakhouse in the state of Louisiana, matter of fact, the only restaurant where you can actually enjoy a stogie in the restaurant. They come from Piper's Haven. You absolutely don't want to miss it. Renee Gerard's here with us for this show. He's the stogiest. He is the certified wizard of tobacco. Go see him. Tell him your Implicit Bias sent you. So it really has just been a minute for us here on Implicit Bias, and I literally mean 1 minute, not the proverbial 15 just yet. See, since we dropped our last episode, many of our listeners and many live stream viewers may not necessarily realize what happened. Here's what happened in the meantime. U.S. Congressman Clay Higgins was kind enough to join us on our last episode, and we engaged in a recap. Really just that. A recap conversation of things that have been discussed for months. But as it said, in that most famous book ever written, you know, Matthew 25:13 to be specific, and I quote, "Watch therefore, for you know neither the day nor the hour." Now, it's not the whole chapter and verse. We'll get to that in a minute. What's pertinent, though, is this. We never really know when things are going to happen, when things are going down, when things are going to pop off. Well, that's exactly what happened to you. It's exactly what happened to us in the past week. Our interview, Your Implicit Bias, popped off. See, the media, especially some of the legacy types, they never seem to disappoint. So it's not a matter of if, it's more a matter of when. When turned out to be last week. Yes, last week, almost a week after the podcast dropped, the legacy media came through like a train. It was a domino effect. Our YouTube channel posted the video, as did Congressman Higgins' ex, formerly known as Twitter account, and it wasn't the conservative side of the aisle that went crazy about the conversation. it was the leftist side of the aisle that went nuts. This was the first domino. The second domino really was the big one. It was the New York Times. Yes, the New York Times grabbed a hold of our little conversation in a small corner of southwest Louisiana and decided to write an article that would reach people from coast to coast, and as best as we can discern, to all corners of the globe. Yes, they decided to write an article that contained almost nothing new. Threw about those words that they used most often. Debunked, unproven, baseless, disproved. We'll talk more about that as we get into the show, as we get into the article, and what they claimed and all that stuff later. But what's really funny, and itches our implicit bias more than anything, their story wasn't new. Congressman Higgins didn't say anything that he hadn't already said on C-SPAN on the floor of Congress, which means almost no one saw it the first time. Thus, the story was DEAD dead. Dead like Emilio Estevez's acting career. Dead, dead, dead. It was over, kaput, snuffed out, old news. So what did the article do? The article put it in front of the eyes of tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands, who are maybe no longer falling for their tricks. What trick? The trick of writing something that's supposed to be as unbiased as possible, that is, when read, nothing but political bias from one side. See, we had no idea what was going to happen when Congressman Higgins came in. Matter of fact, it was a congenial conversation, looking the man in the eye, and he gave off nothing that would lead us to believe that he was telling nothing but the truth. After all, we asked questions, he gave us answers. The Times claims he's trying to rile up his political base. I'd argue that making enemies of the FBI isn't worth the political equity he could gain by telling the story. Here's the interesting part, though. Certain media has made clear their bias. It's been on display for all of those millions to see. Matter of fact, they've won awards for the lies, like the alleged Russia collusion story. Much of what the congressman told us, if it's true, the Time has so much more to lose. After all, they depend on a readership that is so incredibly in touch with their implicit bias that if the congressman is telling the truth, no one would even bother to read that rag anymore. If Congressman Higgins is telling the truth, the Times could never, ever admit it. It's that simple. It's why we have this show. See, we never know when we'll find nuggets of truth in our implicit bias. Congressman Higgins has offered a side of the story that none of the leftist media will cover other than to try and call it crazy or a conspiracy theory. As we know on this show, the problem might just be this, that it is a conspiracy. It's just not a theory. We're glad that you're here physically with us. We knew you would be. This is what brings us back to us all surviving the great eclipse of 2024. Some claim that it was going to be the end of the world. Maybe it was the end of times. After all, we made global news on our little show, and we'll explain that later. But we figured it wasn't really the end of times because people told us they knew it was the end of times. Which brings us back to Mark 25:13. We will not know the day nor the hour. What will we know? We'll know that maybe now our minute starts to be over, maybe not. What we do know for sure is that we have at least another roughly hour 50 for you. It'll be an hour 50 of weekly whiskeys from our weekly whiskey partners at New News. It'll be weekly whiskeys that you can only get a beautiful flight of here at Mr. Lester Steakhouse. And when we tell you the price of this, our bourbon aficionados out there, you're going to not walk, but run here with us. So you can also stick with us, stay with the live stream, stay with us on terrestrial radio, and enjoy the rest of your implicit bias. Did it record?
Yeah.
Do I have to do it again?
No, you got it.
Good job. That was so good. So good.
What's that?
Sam, I sent you a Merriam-Webster link.
That's very exciting, man.
Yeah.
I can't
Oh.
wait for that.
So
Like a Q stick?
Clay does this hearing because I saw bits and pieces of what 2 months ago,
Oh, no, more than that.
3 months ago,
More than that.
and nobody picked up on it. It wasn't until he came on.
Look,
How did they hear about that?
used, abused, and sourced by the New York Times. That's our new line.
Yeah, I mean, how did they pick up on that all of
I'm
a
gonna
sudden?
check
They never
in
carried
here.
it when he was doing the hearing.
So here's
he
what-
had the FBI director, everybody there, and they never picked any of that up. But when he comes on our show, that's when it hits.
So here's what happened, right? What happened was Clay, who
All the trolls and
who
everything
watch
else.
his Twitter just to say bad things, went, oh, he's saying bad stuff again. And they all of a sudden,
And I really hope that they would say tons of bad things. But I mean, I was called attractive. I think the only thing they really said
now
about us was
we know the New York Times is lying.
yeah.
Did they mention my cigars in there?
They mentioned that we smoked cigars and drank expensive bourbon.
They didn't say smoke cigars. They said,
Oh, that's right,
And
'cause
this
we're
is the
smoking
line.
it.
We're going to talk about that. Sipped expensive
Sipped.
whiskey or
Sipped.
tasted expensive whiskey. Like, what does that have to do with
Yeah,
it?
no, I mean,
Which is the fun part. What are they trying to infer by tasted expensive whiskey? Because
We're biggity and uppity.
everyone knows we're
Uppity,
uppity elitists, right? That's us.
yeah, 100%.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh well.
I don't think Miss Melissa knows what to make of us. We can take
I
those
could-
now.
So what Grant said was that the implication was we're all drunk. And look,
Well-
I'd hoped, but Clay didn't partake, and
He sniffed.
he sniffed. He knows
Well,
something
and
about
well,
that glass.
so I really do believe though that was the implication because they said the host
Yeah.
tasted expensive whiskey. So
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
if they had implied that we were drunk, trust me, that would have been a really fun lawsuit.
That'd have been really good.
That'd have been a really good lawsuit because I'd have been like, if you want to see me drunk, let's go get drunk in a court of law in New York, and we will see what drunk looks like.
That's a trip worth making up there because there's some good. There's some speakeasies up there. There's some
Yeah.
other things.
Yeah, there
We
are.
could be live from Saturday night.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure that crowd would love
Oh,
us.
they would love us. We would fit right in.
Fit right in.
Yeah.
Yep. You know what though? We would actually do something that Saturday Night Live hasn't done in years.
Report the truth.
No, we'd be funny.
Oh, valid point. Valid point. I don't think I've watched that show. Do they? I assume it still airs.
Yeah, it's still on. I don't know how, but
It
it's
stopped
still
being
on.
funny when Chris Farley left. Whenever
Yeah, the Will Ferrell, Chris Farley,
Ferrell,
that
yeah.
crew. When that crew
Yeah.
was gone, it was dead.
yeah, they lost a lot.
Yeah, they did, and that was no pun intended on poor Chris Farley because
No, I mean,
you hate that for him. He was
Yeah.
funny. Tommy Boy was
oh,
fantastic.
dude, that's one of my favorites.
Fantastic
That's-
movie.
Are we waiting for something for?
We're waiting on your rear end,
We're good. All right.
so let's do this. If you want to put your headphones on, Miss Melissa.
Well, you don't, or no. It's up to you. You get to do much better.
how does that sound? Is it loud? Is it?
It's very loud.
Okay,
Well, that's because Sam.
you got it,
punishes
Renee.
people.
Thank you.
Should be the third one, I think. Was it the fourth one?
Should be
How's
the
that,
one
man?
that
Is that
Yeah,
better?
she's 4.
looks like it's turned up a lot.
Yeah,
It's better.
much better.
That's much better.
That's good.
manageable.
That's good.
All right, we ready?
We've been waiting on you, Sam.
Okay. 3, 2.
Welcome back to this week's episode of Implicit Bias. It is another special live streaming episode on the internet side. And guys, welcome to X. And I say guys and ladies, welcome to X. This is our first live stream on that platform as well. Of course, many people are listening to us on terrestrial radio, 96.5 KPEL, right here, Lafayette, Louisiana, where we broadcast from. But man, look, we're global, just so you know. We are downloaded in 55 countries at our last check. We have been downloaded on every continent except for Antarctica, but they don't measure Antarctica, so I'm going to say we've been downloaded on Antarctica. I mean, like, it's crazy what has been happening to Implicit Bias.
They don't know. They don't know that they don't listen in Antarctica.
Nobody knows.
They might.
The aliens buried in Antarctica, I guarantee you they're listening, Renee.
They're listening.
They are
yes.
listening for you because you make our one happen. Piper's Haven, 3916 West Congress. We appreciate that. And for those who are watching on the streaming side, you see that we're in the fancy digs this week. We are in Mr. Lester Steakhouse at Cypress Bayou Casino. We have a whole crew here with us. We're going to introduce the crew. We've got a very special guest that we're going to introduce, and we're going to introduce Miss Melissa last. But let's start with Renee. You heard Renee. Renee, glad to be back.
Oh, I love coming here because this is like my place.
It's
the
not your place.
It's the
It is
cigar
not your
lounge.
place.
It's the cigar lounge, man. You can sit here and drink a whiskey, smoke a cigar, and nobody's gonna fuss at you. They'll wait on you hand and foot. I mean,
They will.
It's my place.
That doesn't make it your place, Renee.
I want it to be my place.
You can want it. It doesn't make it happen. That's all I'm going to say, just like I tell my children. Caleb Morse, the rustic renegade, who decided to apparently think that he belongs on the box of Lucky Charms. Yeah. Nice vest and tie. I love it.
I'm a little tall to be a leprechaun, but I'll fill your shoes for once.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Good to have you back.
It's good to be back.
There's been some buzz, right?
A little bit of buzz. You know, the internet is all a Twitter.
Yes, it is. It is all a twit. Yeah, we'll just go with that.
Or like Renee called it, an exclamation.
Yeah, no, we are not going with that. It's an exclamation. Yes, that is what we will go with. Speaking of something that we won't call someone, Sam in the corner is here with us for what is not the penultimate live stream for Sam. This is your swan song of live streams, right, Sam?
This is it, man.
Brother, we hate that. We're glad for you, but we hate that because we have not seen you this relaxed before a live stream. So it's either that you finally got this down pat or you just don't give a anymore.
Yeah, it's one of those two for sure.
I like how he was like, yeah, which one? You decide.
There you go. There you go. All right, so let's introduce our very special guest. Miss Melissa Darden is the chairman of the Chitimacha tribe of Louisiana, and we can't thank you enough for actually joining us here in what we're going to affectionately call the top secret podcast lair south. So thank you for joining us.
Well, thank y'all for inviting me.
It is an absolutely fantastic location down here at Mr. Lester Steakhouse, and I was telling you a little bit of the story of when we started, and Sam actually asked me, Kavan, what's your vision for the show? What does it look like? And my answer was, well, it would look like the cigar room at Mr. Lester Steakhouse. And 4 years later, here we are sitting having this conversation. But I always wondered, because this has always been a special place for me and my wife, who my beautiful wife is probably still sitting at the bar somewhere enjoying a cocktail and relaxing a little bit, which is what we do when we come here. We came here when, to be quite honest, we couldn't afford it. But it's a really special place to us. But it's a gem in southern Louisiana that you might not think exists if you don't know it's here. Why do this as a restaurant for the casino? Because you've had plenty of other restaurants, but this is the one that stuck.
Okay, you just said there's nothing else like this here, right?
Fair.
Okay, so when
Always because
my uncle.
I often make okay. Tell us the story.
I'm a Mr. Lester's open. And
And we are, so thank you, first of all, because we always talk about our veterans here on this show. We have a veteran here who served significant time, and we recognize that it is a family commitment. It is not an individual commitment. And for him to go serve, and I think this is a great conversation, for him to go serve in World War II at that time when, let's be honest, there are certain reasons you can have a cigar in this restaurant. Correct?
Yeah, that's because we want to.
So, okay.
We can do it. 'Cause
So keep going. So you can do it. Why can't anybody else do it?
because they're not us. We're a sovereign nation. So therefore we make our own laws here.
Okay, so I remember moving to Acadiana and not really understanding that rule. That this is its own sovereign nation.
We are a nation within a nation.
Which is really interesting, which makes you the president?
Equivalent.
Equivalent? That is fantastic. That is absolutely outstanding. So when you think about Mr. Lester's and the legacy over the years, how does the tribe look at everything that has been done here and in this particular restaurant as part of a moniker of how people look at the casino? I mean, is that the thought, is that this is how people want to be remembered when they come down here, or how you would want people to remember this location?
You come here, you get treated special. You don't know of any other place that you can go to and be treated like this. So whenever you hear Mr. Lester's, you automatically think Cypress Bayou Casino. And then when you hear someone talking about Cypress Bayou Casino, what do you think of? Mr. Lester's. That's where you go and get that good juicy steak.
Oh, that is an understatement.
You can smoke cigars in the cigar room.
And Renee has probably put away 5 already in the first 2 segments of the show this week. Yeah, no, and that's wonderful. And yet, the tribe is really big about giving back to the area. You guys do a ton of charity work.
Yes, we do.
Tell us a little bit about some of the things that you have done and some of the things that you've actually allowed us to do with regards to charity work, because we have given back based upon some of the things that we've done together.
Well, it's not just, you say charity work, it's all around. Even our surrounding communities, we help those out. And prime example is, we have a bridge here that has been out for multiple years. Well, we were told by the state, by DOTD, that they're not going to fix it. They're just going to do away with this bridge. So we took it upon ourselves, and we went got us a grant to design the bridge, which was a 4.3 million. While they're getting the other one.
There you go.
So
there you go. So we've got to ask your impression, because I know that this was probably a little out of your comfort zone to have a seat with us here this evening.
It was actually, I guess, funny listening to y'all talk.
We do talk funny. I will say that. Miss Melissa Darden, chairman of the Chitimacha Tribe of Louisiana, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for building this restaurant that is the only 5-star restaurant between New Orleans and Houston. You want top-notch service. You want the best steak in the state of Louisiana. You want to smoke a stogie in the cigar room. This is where you got to come. Thank you for joining us.
Right.
We appreciate you being here. And if you want to stick around, have a weekly whiskey after this, that's up to you. But outside of that, we got to take a quick break. Be right back.
Oh, you're welcome.
Made it easy for you.
Oh, okay.
Hold on. Let me take a look at the bottles.
Oh, blue, red, so I'm left to right.
Well,
Blue,
let's
red, green.
take a look and make sure. So we
Okay. I shall see all of y'all later.
Thanks for inviting me.
Thank
It
you
was a
very much.
pleasure.
Thank you for
It
coming.
was a pleasure.
Very nice meeting all of you.
Pleasure to
Someone
meet
else
you.
can have this chair.
And that's the thing is they do so much, not just in their community, but in the neighboring communities. You know.
The Louisiana Open.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
we're
they do.
The Louisiana Open, though.
we're having connection issues.
Yeah, they work throughout
And I'm
the
not
state.
sure why
They
that
do
is.
so much.
Yeah.
And I mean, and that's what you were getting to is the reason we can smoke here. In Louisiana, it's illegal to smoke
In a restaurant.
in a restaurant. Well, even though we're in Louisiana, this is technically not Louisiana.
This is a separate nation.
Yep. Yep. And that's how it is when you go to any other reservation or anything else. Well, look here.
Most people don't understand when they go onto a reservation that, well, the law said, no. You're in a separate country. You know, they have their own rules and regulations. They have their own tribal police force. They enforce their own laws. The only people that can come and assist the tribal police force is federal police. You know, people don't understand that. It's a separate nation.
You're in this segment.
Well, and that's like when you go
Grant's gonna
to
jump in, then we'll bring
Oklahoma,
you back in.
some of the reservations in Oklahoma and
Grant's
so
going to
forth.
bring his flight. He'll swap out. You can take your flight.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
very, very similar, you know, throughout,
I'm pretty
throughout
sure
all
Grant.
of it.
8 segments.
I'm pretty sure Grant touched it already.
And the beauty of that is even here in like the lobby. You know, in the lobby, you have so much of their history laid out. They have their stories laid out. They have everything lined up for you to learn more
Watch
about
his
the
feet
history
right
of the
there,
tribe here,
Renee.
too.
That's a bad spot.
All right, so Caleb, I'm
Sir.
going to ask you when we get going to read a little bit about each bottle
Oh, I can
as we
read.
go through this flight. Did you learn?
I am literate.
You are literate.
Yeah.
What do you need? Elizabeth?
Outstanding.
I'll take it.
Oh, I thought it
Sam?
was for the chairman, but since she's
Yeah.
not going to sip,
Look, if there's
We can put it
extra
up there.
whiskey, you can put it by Sam or you can pass it here. I'm not.
Fawn?
I'll
that?
take that bullet.
Fawn?
yeah, sure. Griffon, Aaron, either one.
What's up, brother?
Here, we'll take it.
I'm not allowed to pour here.
Caleb's pouring rights have been revoked.
Yeah, well,
Pouring rights have
It-
been revoked.
it happens. The other night I was drinking some 1792, the New News Barrel Pick.
Oh,
And look, I found myself wanting because my goal was to see if I could finish that 125 proof in one night.
dude, you had the whole bottle.
I had the whole bottle, and I didn't finish it.
I would hope not.
Oh,
Burley on. Move the book. Move the book. Move the
huh?
book. Move
Yeah,
the
you
book.
gave me a bottle. Yeah. Now it can smell like bourbon. That's fine.
worried
That,
about
that just
the
goes along
wires.
with it. The wires,
And I
Sam, are the wires waterproof? Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
they're sealed. They're sealed. Thank you very much, sweetheart.
Burley engaging in alcohol abuse. Are you kidding me?
I think that's the first time I've ever seen Burley spill.
You have.
I
That's
think
the first time
I
I've
think
ever
that is
seen
the I'm gonna say this. I think that's the first time we've ever spilled on the show.
Ooh, so should there be an award for that?
Do we make him wear the what would you pay championship belt chain and chunk him in the river?
Oh, that's okay.
So which one you doing? Is that live on camera?
We're gonna do
No, that was on camera. I don't know if
we're
they
gonna
saw
do
you or not.
blue, red, green.
Blue, red, green?
All right,
Blue,
so
red,
I-
green.
all right, yeah.
Red, green.
So I know which direction I'm drinking. Then that works for me.
I'm sorry.
She's disappointed. I can see the look in her face, Burley.
I know. She already side-eyed me at the bar a while
Yeah.
ago. I'm like, this is not even starting off right.
But look, we got it out of the way out the gate.
If we didn't have someone new, there was a whole comment coming after that, but I just can't do that to Burley.
Yeah.
First go round.
Yeah. And see now when I write in the book, it's gonna smell like I drank.
That's why
So-
we can't have nice things.
Correct. That is
Yeah,
why
I-
we can't have Burley is why
you're
we
left to
can't
right.
have
You're
nice
left to
things.
right, Grant.
Demonstrated
No,
it.
you're
No,
right.
you're
You're
right.
correct. I'm backwards right now. I'm backwards.
mean-
You're correct. Yeah. See, I'm right-handed apparently.
I was trying to be so careful with the wires.
It happens. It happens. This morning I put my pants on backwards. I didn't really. I'm just saying that so you feel better.
You know,
We're gonna have to go with a wireless system.
who's writing?
Well, it's already in your hand, and you have beautiful penmanship.
Yes, you do.
Like I get jealous of your penmanship. It's the
Now
best.
this smells
Yeah,
like a bourbon.
The best cologne
Now,
you can
now
you
it
can get.
smells like a whiskey tasting journal.
Watch this. Look.
Yep.
Just a dab will do you.
And see, is the feed working well now?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, so boom, it works,
Yeah.
man. It bought us the time we
Yeah.
needed.
What'd you say, Renee?
We were being metered.
Devon's got to invest in wireless equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woo. That gets expensive.
I remember when I asked Sam about doing the boom headsets, where you have the mic boom on it, and he's like, "How are you going to drink whiskey?" I was like, "I didn't think about that." Look, he thinks of everything. So
Sam does think of everything. Right? We give Sam credit for that.
Dude, the book is almost full.
it is.
Yeah.
I think we have like 10 or 12 pages left. Which
We don't have much.
I never thought. Like I knew we'd get to the end of it, but
At some point.
yeah, I just didn't.
But it's a thought that never registers.
All right,
In
all right.
front of you. I'll let
You're
you
grand
I'll
with
let
that.
you do it.
It's a thought that never registers, right? You just pick up the book and you start writing, and all of a sudden you go, "We're almost out." Are you kidding me? We are almost out. Oh, and I got to keep this computer open, and I forgot about that because the internet won't stay connected, or will it?
Hey, Devon, did you find somebody to buy the journal yet?
We have had offers on the journal, which is the crazy part.
There you go. There's your wireless equipment.
Oh, it's okay. They're not those kind of offers.
How do you say that word?
Which one? Try this again.
Maester?
I think so.
Thank you.
Spell it?
Just watch the
Maester.
wires.
Maester.
No, spell it.
Maighstir.
What is it?
Maester?
Maester.
Yeah, Maigh.
M-A-E?
M-A-I.
Meister. Meister.
Noel is asking if he can buy a copy of the book. You should make copies
No,
of it.
I have
Wait,
some.
So,
I was
okay,
kissing on her a
and
while
who
ago,
was that,
so
Sam,
she
that
put
asked?
some stuff
Noel.
on my lips.
So, Noel, so you know, one of the things we have discussed that will happen is we will scan this book. We are going to scan it. We are going to create digital copies. If you want a copy, stay in touch with us, brother, because it's something that we want to keep in posterity. We have actually discussed putting it up for auction as a charity event and seeing who would want it and who would want to get all the ratings. And actually, I'm real curious to see if people can figure out what Caleb Morse's handwriting is actually saying, because I know my handwriting
Cries
is
for
terrible.
help.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of us in there that have done that.
Cries for help. Sam, that is well played. Appreciate that. Oh,
All
that's fun.
Is everybody adjusted and ready?
Give me 1 second. Because I want to actually
he's-
see.
Caleb, make sure you put that back whenever you're done.
I'm reading.
Yeah. I could tell by the way you were concentrating from your toes to your eyebrow.
The mice. The
Concentrating from his toes to his
the
eyebrows.
wheel
That's
was
funny.
spinning at a high rate of speed, I can tell
I
you.
mean, he's in the ready position, leaning forward.
We're going what?
Oh, and look, I love this. So Roy Pettifees chimes in. He said he's already gotten his Implicit Bias whiskey tasting journal from Amazon. But Roy, what you can't get is you can't get one soaked in whiskey by Short Pour Pellerin. That's what you can't get. That is so funny. And that is, I love that. Noel. Sam, are you kidding me? Noel?
I mean, it could be Noel.
Bruh, do you know how to spell Noel?
No, like I know quite a few guys named what I would call Noel, and they pronounce it Noel.
Yeah, man.
Well, this is Noel.
Lead singer of Oasis.
This is Noel. He's not British. Noel France is
That's
from
where
here.
you go with that?
And
Noel
you-
Gallagher?
Yeah,
and
but
you-
that's where
Are
you
we
go
doing
with that?
blue?
Like that's the first one that comes to mind?
Well, I mean, I know Noel and I know Papa Noel, and I figured he wasn't Santa Claus, so I was going with, Noel.
I don't know any other Noels that are famous. So.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
I know one from Mississippi, and that's why he pronounces it Noel.
Hey, Kavan, you're welcome.
My bad,
For
Noel.
what?
Because that book is now worth something.
That book is now worth something. I got a feeling that book was worth something before that. Nice to see John Mode out there, who is chimed into our live stream here. You're on Facebook, it looks like, John, so that's outstanding. And all right, Sam, I guess we are now ready for segment 3 of hour 1.
All right, cool.
Is this the one where we get to go a little long, Sam, or do we go long in segment 2?
I cut you off in segment 2.
That's kind of what I figured.
Yeah.
Kind of what I figured. So it leaves us a little extra time for the weekly whiskey here. And then we're going to bring in Renee when he comes back in segment 4, and he'll talk weekly whiskey as well. And we will start diving into topics as we get into how we have been used and abused by the New York Times.
I was
used,
reading
abused,
your
and
mind.
sourced. That's a scary thought, Sam.
I threw up in my mouth
That's
a little.
yeah, I figured you would.
All right, you ready?
I'm waiting on you.
3, 2.
Welcome back into this week's very special streaming episode of Implicit Bias. I'm your host, Kevon Bordelon. We are at Cypress Bayou Casino, Mr. Lester Steakhouse, where, man, let me tell you, the cigars are already rolling here in the cigar lounge, in the cigar dining room. The weekly whiskey flights have arrived, and we have the crew here with us. We're going to start to my left. He is burly, short pour Pellerin, who might now just need to be called the Spillmeister or Messi or something like that, because Burley, man, I cannot believe you just had the party foul of wiping out your entire initial flight.
The entire flight.
The entire flight.
I didn't even get a sniff of it until it was spilled all over the
Implicit
whiskey
Bias
journal.
Whiskey Tasting Journal. You spilled it all over the Implicit Bias Whiskey Tasting Journal. I can't believe you did that.
I did.
It's good to have you back, brother.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
It was good to
Pleasure
see
to be
you.
here.
It was good to see you last Saturday when quite literally we ran into you in New Orleans. Didn't know he was going to be there. We were there for a family event. We said, we're just going to go grab dinner after Mass. We call it Saturday Mass. Went down to the lakefront in Mandeville. We're like, where are we going to go? And literally said, we'll just go right there. Who else is eating dinner in the restaurant, not 3 tables away? This guy.
Yours truly.
Yeah.
Serendipity, brother. That's what it is.
No,
Serendipity.
you're a freaking stalker. That's what it is. All right, let's go across the cigar lounge here in the newly minted Southern Top Secret Podcast Lair, or the Top Secret Podcast Lair South. And let's start with Grant over there. Grant, we haven't heard from you yet. You actually want to use the microphone because this is an audio podcast as well as video. How are you?
Just fine, fellas. What's going on? Hey, I have a quick question. Once the journal is completely full up, is that register all as someone with a drinking problem?
Why would no? Because everyone
there's like
sampled
500.
that.
There's like 500 pages in that.
No,
thing,
no.
correct?
These are all tastings.
I mean, it's okay to be, but have it documented like that. It's a little unsettling.
No, it reminds us of what goes into Deep Blue, right? The Implicit Bias Infinity bottle that sits in the Top Secret Podcast Lair, and we hide that one somewhere in downtown Lafayette. Keep it under lock and key. Make sure.
Yeah. However you try and rationalize it, Kevon. Okay.
Hey.
However you want to rationalize it, that's an awful lot of proof right
Hey, I am a genius in my own mind, and you leave me alone.
Undisputable.
Right?
Undeniable.
Undisputable or indisputable? Which
Yes,
one?
both of
That's
those.
what I thought. Exactly. We have also across the room Caleb Morse, the Rustic Renegade. Caleb, so you're like full on. You are cigar already. I think you started on the weekly whiskey.
I did. Oh, I started on something before the weekly whiskey. Now I'm on the weekly whiskey, and I don't want to taint my palate, but I'm going to chase it with another whiskey.
Oh, shocker.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what you do. I'm just glad
happens.
I'm just glad you don't get to pour.
I'm not allowed.
If you do, I'm going to have to sit Burley next to you so he can just spill everything you pour. That's what I'm going to have to do.
That's how you keep me tamed, caged.
Caged might be the right word. Yeah,
I think caged.
I'm pretty sure you go caged all the time. Anyway, the other person that you kind of are going, where did he go, is Renee Girard from Piper's Haven. We're rotating guests in and out just for format here. Renee will be back in just a minute, but don't forget, Piper's Haven makes hour 1 of Implicit Bias happen. He's at 3916 West Congress. Porch weather is, man, it was really nice today. It'll probably be really nice tomorrow. You got to get it while you can because we're starting to get into some of the heat, which is going to force you inside into the smoking room or his 553 square foot humidor. Go see Renee Girard, Louisiana's only certified master tobacconist. All right, so let's start with our weekly whiskey flight from here at Mr. Lester's. Every month, Mr. Lester's is curating their whiskey offering. And let me tell you, this month, as they do every month, they have knocked it out of the park. When I say knocked it out of the park, here's what I mean. 3 whiskeys, somewhat difficult to find, so quasi-unobtainium. You might see some somewhere, but you're rarely going to see all 3 of these in one place. But I guarantee you will not see a flight like we have here at Mr. Lester's for the offering that you're going to get it. What we are looking at is we are looking at a 3-pour flight for $30. And Caleb, start with us, if you would, with the blue. So there's a blue offering. It is the Meister edition?
Meister or Meister? You say Meister, Burley says Meister. Now this one is Kentucky Owl's Master Distiller with one out of Ireland. And so when you're tasting it, it's 100 proof. There's no age statement on it that I was able to read. I was sitting there trying to figure out the nose profile. And honestly, it took me puffing my cigar and then going back. And then I was able to draw the peat out of the smell. There's a little bit of fruit in there, but I can't get it in it. When I say peat in the smell, it's faint.
It's
very faint.
I get no peat on this. I do get that hint of Irish whiskey.
It's difficult,
but
man.
But let me tell you, this is absolutely fantastic.
And it's so soft on the nose. This is an impressive bottle. I didn't know what to expect when I read the back because it was a blend of the two regions. I didn't know where they were going to go with this. This is very well done.
I am not a foreign whiskey guy. I'm not huge on Scotch. Irish whiskey doesn't do a ton for me. But oh my goodness, this, to your point, this is masterfully crafted.
Oh, definitely. You know, when I was younger, the only Irish whiskey I really drank was Jameson. And then I got into Redbreast. I enjoy Redbreast. This is neither.
No, this is
neither.
Not even close.
My expectations weren't high when I read the back. And I should have had better expectations because this exceeded what little I thought.
Absolutely. All right, let's go to Short Pour Burley Pellerin. Short Pour, you're on your blue offering over there in the flight. What are you thinking?
Just like he said, it's not much on the nose. It's very faint, kind of relaxed.
Yes.
But, man, on the palate, it opens up some. Did you see the mash bill on it? Was it? Doesn't say anything, huh? It's got to have a little. It's got to have some rye in it for sure. I get a little burn.
So the interesting part is, after the last sip, it's the Mr. Coach Klein peaty. It's not the quarterback fakes. It's the quarterback thinks about faking. It's not peaty. It's like they thought a little bit about peat while they were making it, and that's the hint that you get.
Well, it's kind of like that pinhook I brought up that one time where I did get a little bit of peat, and maybe I do because you said it, but I don't know. It's not bad. It's not bad on the nose, and it's certainly not bad on the palate. But it is very good.
It's hard to pinpoint it because it's so well done. It's so well blended that nothing really stands out independently, which is what drives me nuts. I have 3 or 4 question marks because I put it soft, it's leather, and then a hint of peat, and then more question marks.
I don't get any of those crazy sweetness or
No.
Unidentified rotting fruits.
No,
None of that.
It is a truly unique whiskey compared to anything I've had, and at 100 proof, look, it's not overproof. It's not the ridiculous proofs that we like.
This is exactly where this whiskey needs to be.
That is a gre's statement. I believe it's proofed perfectly at 100. All right, Sam, what do you think about this one?
Yeah, so my experience with Irish whiskey is very similar to Caleb's. Begins and ends with Jameson pretty much, so I was kind of using that as a benchmark for where it would be. It kind of has a little bit of that Jameson flavor. Like it tastes like they're cousins or something, you know? There's some familiarity there, but where Jameson just feels so
Okay,
yeah,
so
raw is a great
here's the deal.
Burns a lot.
Jameson is your cousin Eddie. This is a little more refined.
It is much
right?
more refined. I find I still get a burn whenever I sip it on the front end.
You
but
serious, Clark?
It gives way to a like a buttery caramel kind of thing.
Yeah.
In that ballpark. So,
maybe a little butterscotch?
Maybe so. So if you do,
for me, don't say that.
If you do enjoy Jameson, if you do enjoy Irish whiskey, I think this is a really, really nice version of that.
No, I absolutely agree. Funny, we have a comment as we get ready to go to Grant across the table. Justin East chiming in, I guess it doesn't taste like flat Dr. Pepper. No, I know I've had a lot that gave me that flat Dr. Pepper. This does not. Not even close. So Grant, Grant must hate his because Grant has none left.
I spilled it.
Yeah.
Sorry about the Burley.
Spilled it straight down your gullet,
look,
right?
Don't worry, because my flight got spilled last time too. Don't worry about it. You didn't invent that move. It's all good. And you did flavor up the book too.
Did you get it on the book though? That's the question.
No, I didn't. That was a good move. So what is it about this one? You said it's right at 100.
100 proof.
But it's very minty. I always try and pull out the.
I don't get mint on this one, but
not,
if you do,
okay, maybe not minty, but peppery. I mean, because Burley said that rye, a little bit of that rye bite.
Little peppery, yeah.
I get that, and it almost goes right to the back of my throat and starts that heartburn process. Not that that's a bad thing, but I do get that high, almost peppery rye thing going.
It does have...
It's not unpleasant.
It does have a little bit of spice in the finish, right? It is a
Right.
long finish that leaves a little bit of a burn in the back of the throat as it goes. But to your point, it's not overdone. It's not bad. It's like, oh, it's still there.
Well, we like to say refined now, so yeah, it's got a nice refined taste to it, but it's right where it should be at 100 proof. It's smooth.
All right,
Enjoyable.
So we've had this tasting. When we bring Renee in, we'll do the next one. But we have to talk about what happened, because there's just so much to talk about with regards to the New York Times. There is so much to talk about with regards to the article that was printed in the New York Times. And Caleb, you were telling me that it actually was, our podcast with Congressman Higgins was picked up by another news outlet in the last couple of days.
Yeah, that one was the National Post. And what's
National Pulse.
National Pulse,
Yes.
sorry. And that one, I went and read the comments, which it's full of them. But it's a very different direction than the New York Times went. Because theirs, they were very negative. You could tell which side they leaned against. And the Pulse, man, it was like, oh, big surprise. Big surprise that the FBI was involved. Big surprise that our government was involved. Big surprise that someone
Shocker.
showed them how to get around.
This is my shock face.
Yeah. And that's it. It caught me off guard because I'm not familiar with their magazine or their online editorial, whatever it is. But it caught me off guard when I read that. I was like, oh, my goodness. Someone else thinks like we think.
So I'm going to tell you what caught me off guard, which was this. This whole thing last week goes down. I am out of town. Whenever I travel, I'm putting in a lot of hours, and I kind of disconnect in a lot of ways. And I got a text from a friend who said, hey, did you see this? And I was like, what? And it was the Times article. And the first thought that entered my mind was, wait, I get that Congressman Higgins, he's the news. We're not. But you would think that someone, somewhere might go, maybe we should reach out and ask, how did they get to this? How did they come up with this? What sparked this? No one to this day from the New York Times has said, hey, we're just curious as to what got you into this conversation. I make no bones about the fact that we are incredibly unimportant and a terrible broadcast for everybody to listen to, right? That's what we are. We're a bunch of 5-year-olds with microphones and whiskey.
Well, in the words of Clay Higgins, we're not hard to find.
No, we're not.
So, I mean, they could have reached out. I mean, Implicit Bias Radio, it's not a hidden URL. My email's all over the place, everything else too. Like, they could have asked either one of us quickly and easily, but I didn't get an email. Did you get an email?
So I did not get one from the Times. I did get one from the National Pulse. So thank you.
Very
They
nice of
reached
them.
out. They actually wanted a little more information. They were looking for some additional video, which I would have happily provided. I would have absolutely given it to them if we had it. The format that we had for that interview just didn't lend itself to doing 2 hours of video and audio and putting it out there, as opposed to what we do, which is right now we're primarily an audio podcast and we're making leaps, right? I mean, you see us streaming here, but not all the time. And when those interviews happen, which again, I said this in that episode and I'll say it in this one, Congressman Higgins' office gave us 0 parameters.
Which I love that, and I really I know Clay pretty well, and he's an open book when it comes to this kind of stuff. They didn't give us anything that said this is off limits. And I don't know. I'm sure the people that watched watched and heard the episode realized that we didn't talk a whole bunch.
No, which is the really funny part, and I guess the irony of the entire situation. The theme of that show was what? Go to the source.
Yep.
And I will give the Times credit for this. They did attempt to contact Congressman Higgins about what he said, and basically he said, "Look, no. My understanding is did not return calls for comment. If I'm looking at this situation, my guess is Congressman Higgins wants his statements on this show to stand for what they were, because we didn't edit them.
No.
What were they going to ask him about specifically?
Well, they
do
were
we
gonna
know?
they were gonna ask him about his comments that he made on this show about FBI agents being in crowds and being in groups on January 6th, about transportation that somehow ended up. And okay, this is where we have to go, because this is where it gets really important with the New York Times. The New York Times says that Congressman Higgins claims there were FBI provocateurs in buses. Now, we were talking about FBI being present. We were talking about FBI being embedded with groups, but we asked specifically about buses that had no credentials that found their way into parking lots that were supposed to be credentialed, that had all of their markings taken off of them. And all Congressman Higgins said was there were young people, young men, military age, who got out of those buses. They met in front of the buses. They were all dressed in tactical gear, not all completely matching. He never said that those people were specifically FBI. Never said it. What he said was they all got off there. We lost track of the buses because guess what? Jurisdictional issues in Washington, D.C. can create problems. So again, going to the source, that's all we ask. And the New York Times, as I said in the monologue, man, all you got to do is bet on the mainstream media to be the mainstream media, and look what they do. The only word that they had in there that officially contradicted anything that Congressman Higgins said was what? It was Christopher Wray, the director of the FBI, who in a congressional hearing said, no, FBI agents did not instigate January 6th. That is kind of like asking the dude who just broke into your home and is walking down the street wearing your robe if he broke into your house, and him going, nah, wasn't me. Guess what? And take it. Oh, okay, he didn't do it. It's the Eddie Murphy, baby, wasn't me defense. But I saw you, wasn't me. But I know it wasn't me. Okay, wasn't you. That to me, you know what? My BS monitor is a little bit larger than that. Grant?
So he didn't deny that there was an FBI presence in the crowd?
No. No.
Okay.
In fact,
So, yeah,
now,
that's one of those double speaks where you're like, of course we didn't. There was no inciting. Nobody incited that. But this is, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is not the first time that this has been brought up. It's got no traction, obviously, because it hasn't hit the quote unquote mainstream media.
Well, it has now.
Well, which is how these things work. They sit and you just pull away pieces of the Jenga pile. And if it doesn't gain traction, it doesn't gain traction. But if enough noise is made about it and enough people go, hey, what's that all about? Why is that? Why is that? Why is somebody saying this? And if it gets enough traction, then people start looking and paying attention to it.
Well, so let me tell you this. There is a conservative commentator on X, and I don't want to mess his name up. I will get it during the break, and I will actually cite him, because there were comments on another media source, a national media brand, television, that talked about this. This guy put their video in his tweet and outlined, here's what we know. Here's what has been admitted to. When I saw his post basically calling that news media outlet a liar for trying to debunk what was said here, he got 1.1 million views, and that media outlet is getting slaughtered worse than a fattened calf at a festival. I mean, just absolutely getting wiped out, which is what Sam's doing in the corner, giving me the finger. I'm going to break it off before you're gone, just so you know. It is the 1 minute finger. We'll come back. Final segment of hour one of this week's episode of Implicit Bias right after this.
You know what surprises me more than anything, though?
What?
Is that people think about that and they say, well, that just, why would FBI be there inciting that? They don't think that this country has a long history of going around the globe.
We're going to bring up
this.
We're going to bring up the Gretchen Whitmer case.
Have you read or gotten through The Devil's Chessboard, the book?
I almost finished it, but yeah, I mean, it's no doubt we've been doing this forever.
We've been, around the globe. We've been doing this. If people are sitting out there thinking, they're listening to their media outlet thinking, the United States, we don't do that kind of thing.
They absolutely do.
Incorrect.
Yep.
You wouldn't believe some of the stuff that this
absolutely do.
Well, and our government meddles because we can dictate and control other governments through democratic action to help make sure that people play ball. And if we do it in other governments, why would we not do it on our own soil? And
this is a great comment from one of our listeners. Justin East, why ask for the truth when you can just make it up?
I saw that one too.
That is fantastic. We're gonna call that out. All right, we got to rotate somebody in. Whoever's on there, I'm not sure who's on there for this segment.
Let's see. It's Burley's rotating with Renee.
Oh, Patrick Pellerin. Caleb, did you
Sir.
see the comment from Patrick Pellerin, Co-Intel Pro?
No. Someone,
Okay, that's
Roy
that's
mentioned
fine.
that MSM has picked
we
it
got
up.
y'all on, that's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Vacate now, come in.
Start with it.
Watch the cord.
Yeah. High knees. High knees. I have to stretch before I come out.
What's that? I'm fine with that. Y'all are fine with it? I mean, look, we're good.
Do me a favor. Would you grab my stogie in front of?
Oh, I thought you were going to say, would you grab my woman over there?
It's right in front of her on that plate.
You know I'm trying to be nice, Burley.
Renee, do you have the red?
I've drank the red already.
The Japanese blend?
I drank the red.
Thank you, brother.
I haven't touched it yet. I'm trying to be patient, but I need to write my notes here in a moment.
I drank the red one already.
I'm looking forward to it. You need a lighter over there?
Hey, Justin, I don't know who you're talking about being little over here.
The little show. That's
Oh, don't
It is,
worry,
you know.
John. We're gonna drop your comment in the radio broadcast as well. Tasting expensive whiskey.
Yeah.
We're fine.
What did
It just-
Pellerin say on there? Who was that?
So let's see. So we had some great comments. We had
Well, when you look at how far we've come, and whenever you and I first started talking about all this, Kevon, when I look at where we are now, it's very, very, in my opinion, impressive.
Yeah.
And then when you see something like this, and Clay's office was so generous and nice to have him come on and do it and talk freely and work with us, man, like I never in my life imagined.
Look, I would love to have Christopher Ray. If they really want to debunk this,
yeah.
Christopher Ray can come sit in the top secret podcast lair. I will happily serve him a weekly whiskey and have a conversation about the Gretchen Whitmer case and what his FBI has been involved in.
Wait, you want Christopher Ray to come sit here and go, I'm not aware of anything. I'm not aware that we did that. I don't know what happened.
I'd be thrilled. I'd be thrilled. You are not going to upset me at all. We'd love to host Christopher Ray.
He just won't answer anything.
Well, see, therein
that's
lies the
thing.
problem.
Yeah. You'll
Therein
ask him all
lies the
kinds of
problem.
questions, and he won't answer a thing, so you're wasting your time. Why don't we get John Kennedy here?
Maybe if we get him,
That would be funny.
maybe if we give Christopher Ray enough weekly whiskey.
Well, yeah, loose lips sink ships,
I don't know. Maybe a plane trip to an island in the Caribbean. Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's what it takes.
All right, we got 12 minutes here.
12 minutes, Sam. What is going on with the amount of time? Are you like shrinking the time of the show on
He
us?
wants to shut down quick. He wants to shut down early.
I'm about to Google it because there's nothing on the bottle.
He just wants to shut down early.
Are there
last
rules?
live I'm doing it, just cut it.
Yeah.
Are there rules for the flight? Can I sip whatever I want, or what are we doing
Well,
here?
we're going in an order.
So
We're gonna do red next.
Okay. Am I drinking the red right now, or am I waiting?
You can drink the red right now. I don't care.
I drank my red.
All right.
It'd be nice if I could get another red. but
Trying to
no
hop in
problem.
line like a penguin, baby.
Yeah.
You all right over there?
Hey, Grant.
Cowboy blackjack dealer.
Hey, Roy Pettifees, thank you for sending us stars. I have no idea what that does on Facebook, but thank you for sending them to us anyway.
See if I can
I'm
get
curious.
another little sip of red.
Wow.
Renee, you don't need another sip of red. You already drank your red. You had your red. You don't need any more.
I drank 72. They were little bitty.
The red's the Japanese one?
Yes, the red's the Japanese, the Takumi.
Ooh, that's pretty nice. All right, you ready?
Let me grab this, and then we can jump back in. So, sure.
3, 2.
Welcome back into the final.
hold on.
What did you do now, Sam?
We got some hardware issues.
Oh, that stinks.
Yeah. What's that?
Trying to figure this out. The good news is we don't have streaming issues, so we can just keep going there, or do we?
No, we don't have streaming.
No, okay, good.
Are we streaming even on break?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we're streaming
even during
right now.
break, we are on.
You can talk to your fans as we speak.
Both of them.
I don't think I have any.
My fan. Oh, thank you.
Depends which one of my family's watching at this moment, I guess.
Sam, are you over there rebooting a computer? Is that what I'm hearing through my headset?
Yeah, I restarted a program.
Yeah. What, Adobe crashed on you?
No, it's just we have a lot of stuff plugged into the computer right now,
Mm-hmm.
and it gets confused sometimes about what needs to talk to what program. So
Oh,
sometimes I
holy
have to
hell.
remind it.
I have to remind it.
Yeah.
We steal that from you.
The red,
Sure.
Oh, the red is fantastic.
the Takumi.
Yeah, so
Don't spoil it.
I can say it again on the air. I mean, I can.
All right, we're good to go now.
No, I won't. Fine, I'll stop.
Stop.
I'll stop. I had a sip.
Would you stop touching me?
No.
All right, boys.
Would you stop touching me?
Do you want to say something?
No, I'm good. I'm gonna sit here with bated breath.
Okay. 3.
We'll wait with bated breath.
Oh Lord.
Damn it.
You broke it again?
No, I just I had a desk pop there. All right, 3, 2.
Welcome into the final segment of Hour 1 of this week's episode of Implicit Bias. I'm your host, Kevon Bordelon. Hour 1 is brought to you by Piper's Haven, 3916 West Congress. Go see Renee Girard. You can get the same stogies that you can get here, where we are live streaming from. Mr. Lester's Steakhouse at Cypress Bayou Casino, where, guys, guess what? You know what I heard is coming?
What?
Food. Chef Willie is going to start to send the menu out, and you'll notice that we often have themes of how we dress here on the show when we come to Mr. Lester's. But this episode, we said, you know what? We're just going to do as pretty much their normal customers do. Business casual, which is jeans, button-down shirts, jackets, leprechaun vests, the whole 9 yards. So the food for this week, because Chef Willie normally does a special menu when we show up, the food is straight off the regular menu. And while we have thoroughly enjoyed, and we thoroughly enjoy that you have come here and asked Chef Willie for those special items, we've thoroughly enjoyed them. But the food that we eat when we come here that's just on the regular menu is that good. So we're going to have that drop in probably during this segment. We'll bring in Chef Willie in Hour 2. But we're going to continue here with the crew with regards to our flight of weekly whiskey from Mr. Lester Steakhouse. The Kentucky Owl flight keeps rolling, and this is the Kentucky Owl Takumi edition. Burley, I'm going to let you start because you grabbed the microphone like you might have something important. I'm going to regret this.
No, you're not at all. You're not at all. But I'm going to steal words from Sam. It's good.
There's a reason you like There's a reason you like this one.
Is it?
Yeah.
Why? Tell me, because I haven't read anything on it. I haven't
So
seen
the
it.
bottle has very little information on it, but there is rye in it, and it's a fair amount of rye.
There you
Yeah.
go. So you got a high rye mash
Yeah,
bill
yeah.
is what Caleb is referring to on this Takumi edition.
What's interesting about this one, though, man, these drinks so easy. This is dangerous.
And I'm not going to lie, I was really, really skeptical about finishing Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey in a Japanese style, doing a Takumi edition. I was like, I don't know. And then I tasted it and went, nobody else needs any.
Right.
I'm just going to take the rest of it home. It is that good.
Absolutely.
It is that
It is
good.
good. It is very good. Like I said, steal words from Sam.
Sam, what are you thinking about this one?
This one is fun, man. You can taste a little bit of the Kentucky whiskey under the hood. Like, to me, it feels like a race car that they made street legal and then turned into a Rolls Royce kind of thing. Like, it is a luxury whiskey with some stuff under the hood.
Okay, so for those who don't know, Sam is in his farewell tour. And we actually have Sam's kind of proteges here because we're looking at doing something a little different. Walker Griffon is more than likely the heir apparent to Sam, I believe, as long as he kind of decides he wants to be. Walker, I just want you to know, you heard what Sam said? That's what you have to bring. Repeat that, a street legal that you turned into a Rolls Royce. I mean, that was good.
This whiskey's pretty good, Kavan. It's really nice. It's hitting those honey notes that you get from like a Japanese whiskey, but it still has that kind of that burn that you get from the Kentucky whiskey. I don't know if that's the rye. So you get a little bit of that, but then it just flows into this beautiful, harmonious Japanese style honey, just really nice whiskey. It is really cool how it's playing out.
To your point, Sam, it's almost like it is higher proofed than 100 proof Japanese whiskey without it having to be a higher proof. I don't know if that makes sense, but this comes in right at 100.
Is it 100 also?
Yeah,
It's 100.
Yeah, it's right at 100. Well, right at 100 proof. It's called the Takumi, which is Japanese for artisan. John Rhee, I think that's how you pronounce his last name, is the master distiller at Kentucky Owl. He started off at Four Roses, which is probably why you like it a lot too.
Probably.
So he started off at Four Roses, been here for a little while at Kentucky Owl, and Yasuke, I think is how you pronounce it. And forgive me if anyone speaks Japanese, I don't. He's a younger guy out of Japan who's doing a lot of different things. This is a blend of a 4, 5, 6, and 13 year. So you got a really good blend here. And man, it just, this one's dangerous.
Oh, I could drink that all night.
This one's dangerous. I'm not going to go into my flavor, my nose profile or anything on it yet. I'll wait till we do around to that. But it is impressive what they've done.
Well, I tell you what, why don't we do that since you have the microphone? Give us your profile, then we'll go to Renee, and then we'll jump back into topics for this week.
So it took me a little while to figure out the nose because I'm trying to smell it, and it's real gentle. It's real gentle, not very distinct. And then is it the rye bread is the real dark bread?
Yes.
So it's like a fresh rye bread is what I smell.
Agreed.
That's what I smell on it. And I didn't expect that out of it because I figured it to be more like the Harmony or the Suntory that we've had.
Agreed. That's what I was
Hibikis.
thinking it was going to be.
Yeah. And it's not. You get that fresh rye bread, and then on the palate, it's so fresh, so clean. Then I get the rye bread, like a freshly baked, still warm rye bread on it, with a hint of cinnamon, like a cinnamon caramel. That's how it finishes. It's like a light, not overly bearing cinnamon caramel.
And not overly sweet either.
No, this is so impressive.
No, it is not overly sweet at all.
There are 25,000 bottles of this, and that's it.
Wow.
So this is a limited release, 25,000 worldwide, done.
Wow.
That's impressive that you're able to get this here at Mr. Lester's as part of this flight for just $30. All right, Renee, I'm curious because you made sure you got a second glass of this.
See, I know how this game is played. You drink your other stuff, and then you go, "Oh, we got to do this one now. Oh, can I get another pour?" So it worked for me.
Dude, you might want to work for the New York Times.
Yeah, yeah, I can manipulate it. This one is not drinking like a rye to me. Normally, you get on a rye, I get a pepper. I am not getting what would typically be a rye pepper. I'm getting more of a peppermint, spearmint finish on it. So I'm getting a minty finish. It's not real sweet, but I like it, but it's different.
So what about this? I get the pepper without the burn.
Yeah.
That's what I get. I get pepper, no burn.
When it's done right like
Correct.
that, that's kind of where
what you're supposed to get.
Because a lot
This
of the
is done
ryes-
really, really
A
well.
lot of the ryes that we've had in the past, I mean, you can pick up that pepper rice, but this one I'm not picking that up at all. It's
Caleb and I both kind of we gravitate towards the burn, right?
Right.
We that's
and this doesn't
when
have it.
when you press your tongue up to the roof of your mouth and you get that.
And this,
it's great.
Look.
It's there, but it's there just pleasantly.
25,000 bottles. This is not a cheap bottle. This is one that I have.
It's going to be an obtainium before long.
It will, and this is a bottle I have seen and passed on. I don't know that I'll pass on it again. I literally, because I didn't know, I was like,
Did you pass because of the price of
I
it?
did.
Yeah.
I did. I passed because I was like, I don't know if what they are doing with that whiskey is worth $200 a bottle.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know if it's worth.
Is that
It's
where it is?
Yeah, but
Is
it's
it
worth
really?
it. It's worth it. Oh,
No,
it's
it is
worth it.
absolutely
It's
worth it.
absolutely worth
Well,
it. There is
and
no
I'll tell
doubt
you-
in my mind.
And I'll tell you what, if you don't want to spend $200 a bottle, what's a pour here? 20, 30?
Something like that.
30?
Yeah, but I mean, come here, just get the flight because the
Oh,
flight
yeah.
is
That way you get all
off the
three of
charts
them.
good, and it's $30.
I haven't
Yeah.
had the third one out of the flight, but the two so far are pretty damn good.
It's
my
definitely
my
worth
guess
the-
is
the
my guess
price.
is we've got a lot of blues on the Morse whiskey rating code going around the table. I haven't had one yet that I think is less than exceptional.
No.
So I'm really curious to see where that third one comes in. So let's dive back into, and this is a story that came up this past week as we got really deep into what Congressman Higgins said. So circulating on social media is a James O'Keefe style expose video of someone who allegedly works for the FBI and the CIA. And this guy is claiming everything that Clay said. He is claiming, yeah, I work for the FBI. We give people nudges all the time. We do these things. And he's basically saying this is what we do. Now, here's the crazy part. And this is how you get got in the information world. I don't know that this guy is legit. I don't know that this person is what he says he is. I've seen people do some deep dives into his past, his LinkedIn history. I've seen people do research, and I'm like, I just don't know if this guy is that guy.
What's the platform that he's
It's on X. It's all over X.
Okay.
It was on X. It was
on his personal? It's
no,
not. It's not.
no. It was an investigative reporter.
Yeah, and
Okay.
the video looked kind of shady to me. I mean, it looked like one of these
Well, it's a
camera in
hidden
the
camera.
briefcase things, and I don't know. And he's kind of braggadocious about it, and yeah, I don't know. I think he works for at Area 51 also.
He
so.
might, but here's the deal. So if you're really trying to confuse people, and you really want to make people feel bad about what they think they believe, Caleb Morris, what is the best lie you can tell? It's the lie that has what in it?
Little bit of truth.
A little bit of truth. So I'm looking at this guy and I'm going, I don't believe the guy, but we know a lot of the things that he says happened.
Yeah.
And therein lies the big question that I have to the crew, which is, if you really want to discredit something, send someone out there who's completely false to say something that is 100% true. Follow me?
Yeah.
What happens at that point? Oh, we have the bell?
Yeah.
Sam remembered the bell. Outstanding. All right, Burley, why are you ringing the bell?
just for what you said.
But why? I guess my point is, how does that resonate? Why does that resonate with you?
So
Because you can't discredit it when the person who's supposed to be discredited.
No, you can't. It's no longer credible because the person who
Exactly. There you go.
said it
There you
should
go.
be discredited.
Exactly.
But just because someone who's discredited said it doesn't mean that it's not credible. And I know that sounds like word salad, but that came from Sam Stokes, who's telling me, and he's giving me the finger, which I might give you on video, but I won't. We'll be back with hour 2 and food in this week's episode, coming to you live from Mr. Lester's of Implicit Bias.
that sounded like a Kamala thing right there. What
Yeah,
you
it did.
just did.
It did.
That's definitely her word salad for
Yeah.
sure.
Word salad.
But yeah, I mean, it's the disinformation thing. You, like you said, you put just a touch of truth in it, but the rest is all bullshit. But he had some truth in there. So now is the rest of it true or?
Oh, chef.
But then is it verifiable truth?
Thank you.
Can
And
you
who's
verify?
the person who can verify it if the person that you're saying can verify it,
Right.
to his point, is discredited,
Burley,
quote
right.
unquote.
Fork
Right.
you.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You discredit the truth teller.
Okay. Whenever you're ready to rotate in,
Yeah.
just so you know,
No, you discredit
the truth teller, but not the truth. That's a call out. All right, so Burley, let's see. Blaine Touche, good evening to you. Oh, and by the way, Blaine Sam says a llama can't fly. Jonathan Broussard, Denise LaFleur. Did you, Burley?
Nope, I didn't. I didn't spill a thing.
Yeah. He just knocked it over. It didn't
I didn't
spill.
spill a thing. Thank God for the little snifter.
All right, chef, do you want to jump in and tell us the menu in this one? What's that? No, just tell us the menu, and then you can bring out the courses. That's fine. We don't need all of it now.
Willie, you're looking svelte these days, man.
Svelte. I love the word svelte.
I just told him it's not good for a chef to lose that much weight.
Yeah.
Hey, I know a person who says never trust a skinny cook.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, there you go. We're good with that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah, you don't forget that.
Looking good, brother. Hey, man. Grant, you jump
So,
in.
chef, are we getting a shot of that one? Is there one up there for the ladies?
I'm going to take this.
Oh, there's two for the ladies? Tell you what, why don't we do this?
I'll take.
Why don't you send one from the ladies over here? We'll use that and just leave that for visual. Unless they ate both of them already, which is possible.
They was hungry.
Sam's like, I want one.
I can't believe how far and wide that that llama take went.
Oh no, it went a ways.
Yeah.
It went a ways.
Digi actually got a rug for the studio that has llamas in it, I think.
Oh, that's hysterical. I can't believe Didge actually knows that reference.
He doesn't. He just got it. And I was like, what are those? And he goes, llamas. I thought it was
And
like
you
reindeer
said-
or something.
And you said, "Oh, you trying to make fun of me?"
No, it's
No.
a hideous rug.
Oh, that's why you
keep
did it.
telling him the rug is awful.
Yeah.
Whatever.
You know where llamas came from, Sam?
I'm assuming mother llamas.
No, it's a domesticated guanaco.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Domesticated what?
Guanaco.
God bless you.
Guanaco and vincunas are the two wild species of camelids in South America. The guanaco is
I
the
thought
bigger.
I knew a bunch of useless shit.
Oh,
Renee.
dude, I'm the
Are you
trivia
kidding me?
master. No, I'm not.
You should be wearing all khaki right now.
Yeah, the
And getting
guanaco.
stabbed in the heart by a
The guanaco is the bigger animal. It's bigger. The vincuna is smaller.
Aaron caught it.
The llama, the Incas domesticated the llama from the guanaco. The alpaca is the domesticated version of the vincuna.
Okay.
And they're both camelids. They're big and tall. They look very similar to each other.
They're big and tall.
Yeah, big and tall, and short and squat. But they're raised for their fur. I mean, they
Yeah.
In fact, vincuna fur is very, very valuable.
Hey,
Is it like like chinchilla expensive?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's actually edible
Yeah.
meat, and they use it for packing.
Yeah. Well,
Jesus
they
Christ,
use
Caleb.
the llamas. Bigger animals are pack animals. The
All right,
alpacas
all right.
are not as.
Oh wait,
You
we,
can't care. Oh,
Caleb, you gotta wait. You gotta wait. All right, here's the deal. Caleb is about to light a cigar. Every comment about that cigar is saved until he gets back on the air. That's all I'm saying.
Jesus Christ.
The lunatic. The 8x80 from JFR.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, that's about a 3-hour cigar right there.
Whew.
Yes, it's a great smoke though. They actually make one bigger than that now called it's a
Yeah,
10,
you told us.
10 by 100.
That's what she said.
Yes.
Wow. All right. I guess we do the show now.
That's a Billy Club. That's
Hour
what it is.
2? We're already in hour 2?
Correct. Yeah.
Jeez, it's only 7:48. We're
No, that
rolling.
was quick.
My God. All right. 3, 2.
Welcome into hour 2 of this week's episode of Implicit Bias. Thanks for joining us. If you are joining us on the live stream, which we are on YouTube, Sam, we're on Facebook, we're on X for the first time, correct?
Correct.
It's actually going through, like you haven't messed it up somewhere in there.
As far as I know.
As far as we know, hey, we'll check, right? But this is a really special episode of Implicit Bias streaming live from Mr. Lester Steakhouse at Cypress Bayou Casino. Hour 2 is brought to you by William S. Nacall Jewelers, 3802 Johnston Street. Go there and look. We've got some mom holidays coming up. We got some dad holidays coming up. If you're going for the mom holidays, guys, talk to Grant Galata. See the guy to the other side of me. What's the saying, Grant? Bigger, better diamonds for less. Yes, bigger, better diamonds for less, bruh. Right? They do a great job. So, guys, go see Grant. He will take care of you. Make sure that your significant other is absolutely thrilled with that present. If, ladies, you want something for that man in your life, Deep Blue is a thing. Now, Grant, Deep Blue, you can't get the liquid, but you can get the infinity bottle to create your own infinity bottle. Correct?
Absolutely, quite easily. We have the numbers in stock. People come in and ask about it from the show, actually.
Oh, that's fantastic. I love hearing that.
So, yeah, it's gaining quite a good bit of popularity here. So just come on in and we'll drop an order, get it to you real quick.
3802 Johnson Street, William S. Nacol Jewelers. We thank you for your support. We hope that you visit them and thank them for supporting Implicit Bias. We're going to welcome in another guest for this week's episode. And we often talk about, the things that guys do where we live, Southern Louisiana. One of the things that guys do down here, we cook. And pretty much, if there's a guy here who can't kill and cook his own food, you're pretty much not a dude. That's just the way it works. Am I lying? Do I not speak truth? Nope. Can I get a witness from the congregation? Yes, we are spot on, but we have a guy who can really cook. I mean, Chef Willie Gaspard here at Mr. Lester Steakhouse. Chef, it's a pleasure to have you back with us. It's a pleasure for us to be here. Thank you for letting us eat the food you cook.
Thank you.
So what you got for us this week?
This is a grilled bacon wrapped sea scallop with a boursin cream.
Okay, so this is like the first offering.
Yes.
You have 7 offerings for us here this evening, which is off the charts for the offering. So tell us more about what else we're going to get here, because I'm about to, as soon as we get a shot of you, I'm going to steal that plate, and it's going to start making the rounds here.
So next, we're going to have an oyster, artichoke, and Havarti cheese bisque.
That sounds terrible.
It is.
Sounds like I'm the only one who needs to
It's
have
horrible.
that. I will go ahead and take the bullet for everyone else. I will be the sacrificial leader we are meant to be, and I will eat that so others don't have to.
And salad, we're going to have a strawberry almond salad with basil balsamic vinaigrette. Fish option tonight, we have a broiled cobia, ling, lemon fish, however you want to call it. Everybody in Louisiana calls it by a different name. With asparagus, sauteed lump crab eaten, finished with a red pepper hollandaise. We call it a cobia Oscar. The meat option tonight, I'm going to do a little bit different than steak. We're going to do we serve a pork chop here. It's one of the finest pork chops you'll ever put in your mouth. I buy Duroc pork chops. It's the only pork that actually gets marbled like beef. So when you get a pork chop in, you can see marbling in it, kind of like a prime steak.
I didn't know Duroc was selling pork.
It's the breed.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
I thought it was the wrestler. All right.
Rock.
The Rock.
not The Rock. Dear Lord, Sam. Okay, that's a bad dad joke. You just erased everything you did in hour 1 by making that bad joke.
We take these pork chops and we brine them in brown sugar, salt, apple crown for 24 hours, and we take them out, we grill them, and we finish them with a Beta root beer demi-glaze. It's a pretty neat dish that we do.
You're
here.
trying to hurt me, right? And Renee's looking for who to give that last scallop to. I think it needs to actually go to Sam because.
And my
okay.
favorite steak we do here that none of you guys ever eat when you come is our New York strip. We do one of the best New York strips I think we have in the state.
It's hard
A
to
strip,
pass on that
Renee,
understand.
nobody can hear you when you don't have the microphone. A
understand.
strip is done really, really well. But okay, so I'm going to ask you something, and this is just a straight cooking question.
Yep.
Because I'm going to tell you, I'm a steak guy at home. I love doing steak, and I'm obsessive about it, like a lot of probably our listeners and viewers are. A peppercorn crust burns like a mother when you put it in the pan. How do you keep it from burning?
Put it on after.
So talk to me about the process.
After you finish cooking your steak,
Okay.
right before you put it on a plate, put your crust on it. Put on a plate, a little bit of butter.
So you just heavy pepper across the top, a little bit of butter. Do you even sear that at all? No,
A little bit.
just a little. Okay. Because
In the broiler.
I have, well, okay, so now you got to have a broiler.
Yeah.
Now you got to have, I do have one of those. Because I've got a fantastic wife who gave me one as a Father's Day present. Yes, you can actually take what in the restaurant terms they'll call a salamander.
Right.
Slide it in there, make your peppercorn crust, put a little bit of butter, let that crisp it up. That makes a ton of sense.
Yep.
Now we're cooking with gas on a broiler.
If you try to cook it with the crust, so you're gonna burn it. It'll
Yeah,
burn.
no, and that was always
Unless
the
you're
problem.
cooking it rare, it's gonna burn.
Well, I mean, let's face it. With a good cut of beef, the last thing you want is to overcook
Right.
it.
Absolutely.
I mean, we're not serving a hockey puck over here, right?
No.
I mean, we want some
Not at
flavor. You got to have all that. No, it's fantastic. All right, Sam, did you get a chance to eat that scallop?
No, I can't eat right now. I let Aaron eat it.
It
Aaron
looks
doesn't
like-
have a mic though.
Oh, looks like Aaron ate it. All right, Grant, what'd you think of the scallop?
Oh, he had me at bacon. You wrap bacon around anything like that? It was absolutely fantastic. Chef Willie, why cobia? Let me ask.
It's actually I was intrigued with this fish that I was given the option to buy. It's farm raised.
It's
Okay.
It's a farm raised.
Yes.
Because they're out in the Gulf. They're
Yeah.
plentiful around the rigs. at the
And
Gulf.
they do taste like lemon, right? That's why they call them
I
lemon
wanted to
fish.
try this farm raised fish, and it's really good. It's actually raised in the ocean, around
in the nets, in the big cages,
Yeah.
yeah.
I wanted to try it. And
I
it's
can't
really
wait to-
good. Actually,
cannot
it's really
wait.
clean.
Cannot wait to taste it because they're a lot of fun to catch. But
Absolutely.
you got a lot of choices. I mean, the red snapper
Yeah.
and
That
whatever
opens
other.
this week.
Yeah, that's right. And the
Go
limit's
catch
up
'em
to
and cook
4.
'em.
Hey, look, the best part of this is that we are eating fantastic food. There's more to come here. You'll actually see it if you're watching on the live stream. We are sipping, tasting expensive whiskey. I'm going to give a source on that to the New York Times because, apparently that was important in their story.
That was a little odd, wasn't it?
Was it not odd that
It
they
really
dove
was.
into? I mean, Chef Willie, you have provided us with the expensive whiskey here this evening, and we appreciate it greatly. But did you notice that? Why call that out? I mean, look, we even said it in the podcast. Congressman Higgins did not partake. He knows the glass, right, Sam? I mean, you were there, you saw it,
Yeah, he sniffed it.
but he absolutely said, "I do not need to drink this."
I remember he said, "It caresses."
Yeah. So my question is, was the New York Times trying to infer something without saying it?
You know who's got to be mad about that line from the New York Times?
Who?
Mike Trammell.
Yeah. No donkey whiskey, right? Yeah. Mike's, I always got donkey whiskey when I went. Hey, look, Trammell's been here. He's been to Mr. Lester's, so he doesn't get to claim that anymore. Grant?
To answer your question, the only reason to approach it from that angle, it was negative. It was derogatory from every angle that you could take that. Oh, he's sitting in his upscale podcast drinking expensive whiskey. Or the people who are actually giving you this information and discussing it with this man are drunk.
Yeah.
There-
They were
there-
trying
it-
to
it was
imply.
negative.
They
Yeah,
were
it was-
trying
it was
to imply
negative.
more than that. I was there. I can tell you.
Yeah, but you had one drink. You were drunk.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it was a great whiskey. It's an unobtainium whiskey.
It was.
But yeah, the whole time, Congressman Higgins, he would take his glass and he would sniff, and that was it. You know what? You didn't put it in a snifter, though.
I will tell you,
should've.
though,
But he had one of the rock heavy tumblers.
He did.
And he would sniff it and go, "Yep, I can get all the flavors and everything I needed," because he had quit drinking 3 years ago, he well told us. But I think the Times is trying to imply that, oh, the congressman says he doesn't drink, and here he is drinking elitist whiskey with some elitist podcasters.
Because you can tell we are so elitist.
Well, yeah,
right? That's who and what we are.
We are, because we're sitting here in Mr. Lester's.
We are here because we are blessed by God to be here, not because we are elitists and we do this and try to exclude everybody else. Matter of fact,
I think he actually said, I remember all his quotes because they cracked me up just
Yeah.
because the way his delivery is so, he's like a cowboy. He's like John Wayne
Yeah.
reincarnated. I think he said something like,
Well, he's the Cajun John Wayne.
yeah, exactly. He said, the smell of good whiskey contains promises.
it does. Hey, look, I mean, speaking of promises, we need to make a promise to those who are watching this live stream, going to listen to this on terrestrial radio, 96.5 KPEL, on Saturday, April 13th, when this one drops. we are fortunate and we are blessed that Mr. Lester's has us here. Mr. Lester's also wants you here. To that point, June 21st, a Friday night, they are going to close the cigar lounge and the cigar dining room so you can win tickets to Summer Supper at Mr. Lester's with Implicit Bias. We are going to give away, just like we did for Winter Implicit Dinner, a lot of tickets. It's going to be 35 total couples, 70 people, and you can only win tickets here on Implicit Bias. You know how important this is? Sam gave me the finger, and I gave him the finger back because I'm going to roll as long on this as we need to. Stay tuned to our social media. Find us on Facebook. Find us on X. Find us on Instagram. We're going to give away golden tickets where you can come and you can win. Matter of fact, we had some winners who actually showed up here tonight and came back because they made it to Winter Implicit Dinner. They won stuff, and they're like, we have to go back. So I'm looking forward to seeing all of our listeners. Renee, you looking forward to seeing our listeners? As many, I say all of them, as many as we have tickets for.
Well, and we, you know, in the past few months, I've had a lot of people come by the shop and say, man, I heard about y'all doing the live from Lester's. And I told them, we're here on the 11th. Come by. And I had a couple of guys that came by. You know, everybody wants to come to Lester's now. You know, Mr. Lester's is the place to go.
Hey, if you want to come, you got to stick around, come back as we continue hour 2 of this week's episode of Implicit Bias.
So see, now all the podcast people that are, the Facebook people that are watching this, now we can talk some more about how great it is here at Mr. Lester's.
Facebook and X. We actually had somebody said they saw the video on X, looked a little shady. I don't know what that reference
He was
meant.
talking about the video you were referencing earlier.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
the hidden camera video.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Yeah,
It looks shady. It
does.
absolutely looks shady.
It does look like one of those expose 60-minute type.
We're good.
You know.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
good.
but be careful with the
Oh,
word
and you got
shady.
dessert coming,
Yeah.
right?
There's a lot
we
of
forgot to do
implications
dessert.
in the
We'll
word
bring you back
shady.
for
Well,
dessert.
if you the video though
Don't
does
say,
look
don't say
like
shady.
Well, what would you call it?
Oh, I don't know. It's just shady.
It's
has something
shady.
negative. Hey, I got a question. Can we start calling it Uncle Lester?
Slide you over a little bit.
No, it's
Uncle-
Mr.
no.
because the name is
no,
Mr. Lester.
I know, but we've been here enough now. It's like home. It's like our den now.
No, that is Melissa's
It's
uncle.
uncle.
That is
That's Mi-
Melissa's
and,
uncle.
and I was going to say it's verified
Yeah.
tonight by Melissa that he is an
spoons.
uncle.
Spoons.
Keep waiting
But
for
the
it.
name of the place is Mr. Lester's.
waiting
We
for
have to
Aunt
use
May.
the correct
Thank you, chef.
name for the restaurant.
Yeah.
Because this is a
Want a spoon?
sacred place for us.
Thank you, thank you.
You can smoke in the restaurant. Well, in the cigar room.
Smack you in your head with it.
You gotta.
Hey, no, but seriously, come on. What did you
Sure, we
think?
can pass them over to Sam.
What did you think about the
that
sipping
to Sam.
expensive whiskey comment initially? I mean, like,
Oh
what was
no,
your gut
it's
reaction?
it's definitely thank you.
derogatory
It is
at
definitely a
best, correct?
shot to try and
Oh, yeah.
diminish.
Yeah, and make it sound like we're a bunch of elitists and that, you know. It's the congressman smoking cigars and back rooms, you know, with expensive whiskeys and it's just
The shells are from Target, so
the liberal
that
media
out
trying to
Jesus Christ, Caleb.
trying to discredit.
Does that thing have batteries in it?
Sam, I told you to wait until we're on air.
So I want you to know, when I handed it to my wife, she's like, that feels natural. And Elizabeth was like, that's obnoxious. It's lit. I got it. It took a little work. I'm definitely not used to puffing on anything this
It
size.
usually
I can tell
takes a
you that.
little work to get something that big going.
All the blood's in one end of it. so.
You should have thought better of that.
No, it's not lit. I got. Is that a double burner?
Oh dear Lord.
No, let me light it.
This hat, dude.
That'll look funny.
Is that on camera? Yeah, good.
Oh yeah, it's on camera. No, it has to be on camera. That is.
My gosh.
There you go. It looks obnoxious, but I tell you, it is a great cigar. It
a
really
two-hander.
is. Yeah. I mean, it is a very good smoking cigar. It's just huge.
Bad idea.
Caleb just feels bad that, you know, he's used to having something bigger in his hands and his mouth.
Jesus.
come on, you knew this
So,
was coming.
When I walked up there, I was like, oh, they got ALRs. And I looked left, I was like, I want a lunatic.
Wow.
So, and look, we can thank Renee for this cigar, actually. So,
Well, this was the cigar of the month.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I hadn't had it yet. And I saw it, and I was like, you know what?
Okay, that is the oyster and Havarti
I must
bisque,
partake.
and that is obscene. Almost as obscene as what Caleb has in his mouth right now.
Wow. Wow.
And he knew these jokes were coming.
Hey, how about my Clay Higgins impression? It was pretty good, right?
It was all right.
It was not bad.
No, it was not bad.
Evil's in the heart of man.
Okay, look, that is not only good, that is true.
Yeah.
And he's probably watching right now, Sammy. You know he's going to hunt you down and kill you.
Yeah.
He will draw and quarter you before the end of the show.
Yeah.
It's a light smoke for what it is.
It's a Maduro wrapper. They make the whole.
Okay,
whole,
hold off on that. We're going to talk about that when we
okay.
get on the radio.
on the radio.
On the radio.
But what we're going to talk about now on the Facebook.
That thing.
Oh, hold on. We got tons of stuff. Let me
The
pull up
Facebook.
some of the rest of
we
the articles
got
that we
the
have.
Facebook thing.
Because the crazy part is we only have like a couple of seconds, right? I mean, a couple of stories, not a couple of seconds, a couple of stories.
You want to hit the bulletproof suit?
Oh, we're going to do the bulletproof suit. We're also going to do the lottery.
I'm going to need more than a few seconds with this thing.
You
I
think?
get-
After midnight with that Billy Club.
Oh,
I
there's
smoked my
so
first-
much of it. There's so much of it. That's what she said.
Yeah, my Opus, I smoked the Opus X first.
Too red.
And the Opus X, like, I killed it in the first the two segments. And then I saw this, and they're like, oh, that's 3 hours. And I'm like, 3 hours? I don't know about all that, but we'll see. We'll find out. So what's the soup? What is this?
It is an oyster, artichoke, and Havarti bisque.
Ooh. So I had the scallop earlier up there with the water.
Oh, the scallop is
and that was
stupid.
delicious. That was delicious.
Oh my goodness, that scallop was amazing. And I like scallops. I'm curious as to how my wife felt about the scallop because she is sometimes touchy or iffy on scallops. Yeah, and she's like, that one was delicious. That's what I thought.
Yeah. Because it was real. You know, a lot of restaurants you go to and they say it's scallops and it's actually stingray. They actually cut plugs out of the stingray wings.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's a like, you know, the crab with a K.
Yeah.
You know, they do. There's a lot of restaurants. They're not willing to spend the money for scallops because they're not cheap. They'll take stingray and they'll cut plugs out of it, and
Same chewy texture.
it's the same
That
texture.
surprises me that they can
I love
get
that.
a ray.
I love that Kathleen
chewy.
is
Yeah.
watching, and apparently the comment I made about the cigar, or somebody made about the cigar, she's like, "That sounds like a Kathleen comment."
So did Kathleen
Oh.
comment?
Kathleen actually found it's a piece of property, 5.75 acres outside of Cankton. The only drawback is the road to get there comes off of a paved road, and it's a gravel road to get back there.
Even better.
Yeah, exactly.
Even better.
Well, just
And
if
more
I'm driving,
secluded.
Yeah.
if I'm driving my truck, I mean, my truck's never going to be clean, right? But I
enough.
mean,
Plus, you could hear him coming.
Yeah.
but I mean, it is like we actually went and looked at it Sunday. I haven't had a chance to call her. She's watching right now. She's hearing this.
How long of a gravel road is it?
Oh, quarter of a mile.
Oh,
It's not terrible.
dude,
Perfect.
I was raised on one of those.
Yeah,
My
well,
mom's road is still like that.
I think you were raised on a dirt road. That was before gravel was invented.
No, they had.
Caleb.
They had
Can you
shells.
adjust one of those soups so that it's in front of the
I
camera?
I'll remove.
Caleb, take the full soup and slide it on the black.
Put it on a tape.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Does that look good, Aaron?
There we go. That's better.
It just looks like a cup. It doesn't look like anything. You
Can
probably shouldn't
slide
reference
it,
this
slide
one.
it, slide it forward. Oh no, it's good. Slide it forward.
Is that the same soup?
Yeah, it's
Yep.
Yeah.
Watch.
okay.
It's good, y'all.
There you go.
Y'all
Is that,
come eat
hey,
some.
is that the same soup?
Yeah,
the same soup,
That's the
yeah.
same
Okay.
soup that we
Well, hey,
sampled.
get a good shot because it's
But-
about to go bye-bye.
You having fun over there, Walker?
But
I don't know that
when
Walker knows what to make of this. He's
when
like,
you live
"Oh,
on a gravel
help
road,
me."
your vehicles are always going to be dirty. You just go to the car wash a lot.
Well
we have,
worth- yeah,
you know,
well worth
Lafayette
it.
is the car wash capital of the world now.
Or
so
you just
you buy one of them monthly memberships, and every time you come to town, you wash your
or
truck.
you just call Jude Pelche and he comes to your house and does it for
Oh
you.
yeah,
Right?
Jude needs to come do mine. He hadn't been to the shop in a while. He needs to come.
Well,
my
you need
Buick
to
is-
call him and schedule it.
What he's supposed to come and do my my Buick when he comes and does your truck. We had hooked that up that
Well,
he would go
some-
do your truck.
Some
and
idiot,
come.
some idiot hit my truck, and I haven't had it fixed yet.
Oh,
So
you're the reason why my Buick's not getting washed, because that was a deal that we had cut to save him travel time. When he washes your truck, he would come wash my car.
I was actually on the phone with Kavar.
And Burley's back
Grant-
there.
I was
Burley's
on
back
the
there
f-
going, "What's with that, bro?" He owns car washes, and
Grant-
My
Grant
ears,
was
Renee.
on the
My
phone.
God.
Well, Grant was on the phone.
We were talking
When it
he
happened.
got hit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
so
didn't-
you were
I
And look,
yeah, I didn't know
you
what
can
happened.
you can go to you can absolutely
I
go to
can go to
Burley's Car
Zydeco
Washes.
Ride and Shine.
There you go.
You know,
It's
It
not
is
far from you.
ridiculous, dude.
no. Well, I don't know. There's one. Where's your locations at, Burley? You got one.
One on
Zydeco
Willow. One
is-
on Willow.
Is on Willow,
320 West Willow.
and then the other
That's
one's in
Zydeco. Another
Youngsville.
one is
Right across
510
from New
Lafayette
News.
Street,
Yeah.
right across the street from
New
our
News.
liquor partner,
New News.
New News.
So I
in
guess I'll
Youngsville.
have to go to the Youngsville one when I go to New News and pick me up some whiskey.
Y'all ready to talk professionally? I think Caleb's arm's getting tired.
Wait, we got to talk professionally. This is segment 2 of hour 2, Sam. So
Just-
this is 2-2.
Ah, shit.
And while you're doing that, Sam, I think this is the same cigar that P. Diddy smoked.
Do you really,
At least once.
I think it's smaller than that, dude.
Caleb? All I'm gonna say is it looks like that one's uncut, brother.
What a
Look, sitting there trying to bluff on this, I have a new appreciation. This is difficult.
It looks like a cigar you'd buy off the cart somebody has during Mardi Gras.
It should say, like, it's a boy.
We know it's a boy.
It's really, like, it's a smooth smoke, too. Like,
Hey, that beard's gonna carry it for about a week too.
Again, that's what she said.
I think the name suits it, the lunatic, because I don't know if I overestimated it or not, but this thing it's hefty.
Yeah. All right. 3, 2.
Welcome
Oh,
back.
no, we're having issues again.
Come on, Sam.
Hey, don't get mad at me, man.
I'm not mad at you. You're supposed to fix this, right?
We'll get there. We'll get there. Computer's confused about Caleb's cigar.
Yeah. Hey, you haven't made a dent in it either, Bubba.
It's all a cigar. It was like NC-17.
He's burned about a half inch of it. That's he's still got another 2.5 hours to go.
Now, this is 8 by 80?
Yes.
Now I know for size comparison.
Yeah.
You can cut it by a third and you'll be good to go, right?
Yeah.
Your wife is laughing at that one. Your wife is crying laughing at that one.
Yeah. All right. All right. I think we're good this time.
Oh, crap. Let's go.
3, 2.
Hour 2 of this week's episode of Implicit Bias rolls on as we bring you a very special streaming episode from Mr. Lester Steakhouse at Cypress Bayou Casino, the only 5-star restaurant between New Orleans and Houston. And it's the only restaurant in the state where you can smoke a stogie in the cigar lounge and eat your dinner, go into the cigar dining room all at the same time. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. We have a raucous crew here with us this week. You see this guy, he is Grant Galatas of William S. Nacall Jewelers, 3802 Johnson Street, making hour 2 possible here on Implicit Bias. Across the table, we have the rustic renegade himself. Not going to comment on what he's doing. We have Renee Girard of Piper's Haven. And of course, he's not in the corner. He's just Sam Stokes.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, Sam, you got your own table for this one. Like,
He's on the side.
you got upgraded.
Yeah.
You got the upgrade to first-class producer spot, right?
It's pretty nice, man.
It is pretty nice. We are sampling our weekly whiskey flights. We are sampling the food here at Mr. Lester's. We are talking about all the stories going on in the world that, man, just don't seem to make sense. So let's tell you first what we are sampling this week for the soup offering at Mr. Lester's. Sam, I'll let you get a shot of that. This is an absolutely fantastic offering. It is an oyster artichoke and Havarti cheese bisque. That, oh my goodness, I know we're kind of still barely in oyster season. We're in a month with an R, but it's gotten a little warm, and you normally don't think oysters as you start to get to warm temperatures. That soup is fantastic. Grant, what'd you think?
Unbelievable. It's the kind of soup that gets you in trouble for your main course.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree.
Because it's rich. I mean,
Yeah,
it just
it's one of those soups that you wish you would have ordered the bowl instead of a cup. You know, but then after you order the bowl, then you go, oh my God, it's so rich that I shouldn't have done that.
the flavor just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, while you change microphones, Renee, with Caleb, Sam, I'm curious as to what you thought. Did you get a taste of the soup? Because the salad is coming very quickly.
I have not. I'm struggling to eat anything right now. I got a lot going on.
All right, well, hopefully the team over there that we have had an opportunity to try this.
I feel the team had an opportunity to try it. I understand that it's reminiscent of like a guanaco flavor. Some Chilean Alps or something like that.
Okay, Renee, you have to explain what that is because it happened during a break. Nobody knew what it was. Renee's full of useless knowledge, describing animals that may or may not have had strange things done with them. I don't know. Renee, what is this guanaco thing?
I'm just a trivia guy, you know, and after the llama incident with Sam a few weeks ago.
I don't like the way you said that. I mischaracterized the llama, all right? There was no llama incident.
It's the llama incident. I had to explain to Sam where the llamas come from. Guanaco is the wild camelid in the Peru area, and the Incas are the ones that domesticated the guanaco and actually made the llama. Just like the alpaca came from the vincuna, which is the wild version of a smaller guanaco.
Tune into Implicit Bias. Yeah. Find out about guanacos. Find out about things that you probably think if you Google them are going to get you really bad results. And that's all because of Renee. And here's the really crazy part. The food is rolling out here. That salad is amazing. Caleb, I'm curious as to what you have gotten to partake of other than that massive thing that you keep sticking in your mouth.
Well, you know, it's a reason to be jealous of it. I tell you that. No, so I had the scallops earlier. I've had the soup with the cheese on the Havarti finish. It is just stupendous. The scallops, the bacon went perfect with it. It wasn't overly crispy, which played well with the texture. So I've been partaking. Maybe not on air, but I've been partaking.
Okay, so Renee, the cigar that Caleb is smoking was the cigar of the month for a while.
Yeah.
And I know Sam's going to make sure we get a shot of Caleb manhandling
that was a couple of
that
months
thing.
ago. That's a JFR Lunatic. It's a 8x80. And Chef Willie had come to the shop and he says, I need something impressive to put in the humidor here at Mr. Lester's. And I went, yeah, this is pretty impressive. It's a great cigar.
I've always said it was
well, yeah, they can't hear you, Caleb. I mean,
I've always called it impressive, just so you know.
It's an 8x80, and most people look at that cigar and go, oh, it's one of those joke carnival cigars. No, it isn't. In fact, they actually make one bigger than that. It's a 10x100. And there again, when you get a cigar that big, it takes an effort to smoke it because that's about the one that Caleb's smoking is about a 3-hour cigar at least.
Wow.
You know,
So
but
this is available
cigar.
here. This came out of the humidor here at Mr. Lester's.
Here at Mr. Lester's,
That's
they
really
have
cool.
them, and we keep them in stock at the shop. It's a great cigar. And Dr. Eduardo he's the largest landowner in Nicaragua, and he grows a lot of tobacco. He supplies tobaccos to a lot of other companies. His company also makes cigars for other companies. It's Aganorsa Leaf is the parent company that makes all of those cigars.
We have talked plenty of whiskey. We've got actually a little more whiskey to talk here because we've got the last offering, which we're going to do in the last segment from here at Mr. Lester's and the Flight from Kentucky Owl. We've also got an offering from our weekly whiskey partners at New News Markets in Youngsville, Scott, Milton, Maurice. We'll get a little taste of that. But there is a story that we just have to touch on. Caleb, you sent this to me, and I immediately recognized there was one thing wrong, and I'm taking a quick look at this picture, but now it's a thing on social media.
It's blown up.
And to be fair, when you watch it, you're like, when you see the picture, you're like, it might just blow up in that poor guy's hand.
Yeah.
So we sent this out to the crew here on the Top Secret Podcast Lair that we're going to be on this show. There is a picture that the United States Navy put out.
It's been deleted now.
Oh, it has now been deleted.
Yeah, but don't worry, the Marine Corps one-upped them and reposted it.
Well, Space Force had reposted it as well.
Oh, I didn't see the Space
Force.
Oh,
yeah,
one.
Space Force for the win.
Oh.
So in this picture, Caleb sends it to him and he goes, we have to talk about this. And I'm like, okay, there's some things wrong. First of all, I'm looking at the way the guy is mounting the rifle on his shoulder, and I'm like, that's not going to be good.
Well, and so everyone knows, to preface this is the U.S. Navy posted a picture of a seaman firing an M4, which is an AR-15 type platform, semi-shouldered.
Yeah, like this much of the stock, the butt of the stock is on his shoulder, so
And look,
it looks like
maybe-
it's going to pop
Maybe
off.
he was wearing a life vest. I don't know. Like, maybe that's all you can get with a PFD?
But that really wasn't personal flotation device, by the
Yeah,
way, for those who don't
sorry.
know. But that's not necessarily what was really wrong with
No,
it. Did you look at the picture, Grant?
Yes, I did.
Did you catch what was wrong with it immediately? The
Not,
big thing?
Not straight off the bat. What I thought was funny though is how often is someone in the Navy do they have to run out on deck and grab their service weapon?
You would think often enough to know that their optic was mounted backwards.
Yeah, but I did. I'm sure you saw that.
Oh,
And
yeah.
immediately started laughing.
Oh, when I saw
looked
it,
at
I was like,
just
this is everything wrong.
Sam, did you catch that the scope was mounted backwards on the rifle?
Of course. Of course.
Yeah.
It was, and look, there was an eye cover. Well, there was is ocular lens cover is what it's called, which was on the right side of the optic, but it was still closed. So even though he's pretend looking through the optic, he can see nothing. And I get it, the ocean's blue, but when you're looking through the optic and it's black, they don't match. Not at all. It was impressive.
Yeah, well, the other part of it is every military trained shooter that I've seen in the last 5, 7, 10 years, they are not up close to the magazine holding the rifle. This actually had a mounted grip on the Picatinny rail underneath the barrel that was right up against the magazine. I was like, that looks odd as well.
Well, I mean, that whole picture, most soldiers do not work on their rifles. They don't mount their own optics. So somebody set this poor guy up. I mean, they just
Okay.
gave him a gun that was just like, it just, some armor is like, oh, let's mess with this dude. Let's put his scope backwards. Let's, mount this handle close. And if I'm not mistaken, it wasn't just a seaman. It was some commander.
So
it was
this
some
is important.
higher up
This is-
officer type dude.
This is
So,
really important. He is the commander of the ship.
Yes.
Do
So
you-
he didn't realize what they were setting this poor guy up.
Okay, so Renee, maybe they were.
No,
Maybe they weren't.
There weren't no maybe. They were setting this dude up.
So let me take you down the rabbit hole that social media has pulled with this. There are so many things wrong with that picture that people are arguing there is no way this was completely unintentional. Caleb?
I mean, you would think, but as someone who has seen captains, lieutenant colonels, majors, and so forth qualify, man, they don't
Or fail to qualify.
Or fail to qualify. Look, your average soldier. I can't speak to the Navy because I wasn't in the Navy, but your average soldier doesn't know how to do much, and they have to be trained and taught. And then your average officer, look, they're just a private with a college degree. Now, this man is well beyond a private, but you wouldn't take an image with a rifle you haven't qualified on. So either they said, look, we got this stuff lying around, let's slap it on the rifle and put it out there to be a great photo op, and no one knew what they were doing, which is a good possibility.
Or
they said, we really don't like this guy.
Or, which is the rabbit hole that people are going down, it was intentional. Because what is the ship he is the commander of? Do you know this one?
No, I don't know that one.
The USS McCain.
Oh, that's even better. That's
Yeah,
even
now
better.
everybody's eyeballs go, wait, what?
Yeah,
Wait, what?
that's even better.
There are really, really deep conspiracy theories around this picture now, which I find really interesting because, to your point, I mean, I know you have seen people not qualify.
Oh, multiple times.
I recognize that it took me a while to go, oh, the scope's backwards, just looking at a picture. There is no doubt that if I'm going to put a rifle to my shoulder and I'm going to look at that optic, I'm going to be like, whoa.
Yeah.
No, because this, no.
Most optical scopes like that, not a red dot, This is a variable power,
Correct.
LPV is what they're called, or the acronym. Most of those make the object look closer. It would be like holding a camera backwards. Well, not even holding the camera backwards. That's a bad analogy. But it's wow. Everything looks so far away. You know, I mean, maybe he was trying to shoot Antarctica. I'm not sure.
There's actually casings flying out of the gun.
Yeah, so
he's
he fired the
actually
weapon.
firing the weapon.
Well, they could have been photoshopped in, much like you might have to Photoshop us in as we get ready because Sam's giving us the finger and we're going to come back with the Sam. Are we in the Sam Stokes segment already?
I think so.
Sam
I haven't
Stokes
been paying
segment
attention. I hope you have.
of this week's episode of Implicit Bias when we come back. That is so
You want
funny.
to here, honey? You want to try this cigar? Just so you know, it's exhausting.
Do you need a spot?
What's that? You got some salad? Did you try the salad?
Oh, yeah.
That salad was
Strawberries.
That
crazy
salad
good.
looks impressive.
They have any strawberries in there I could eat?
But babe,
Oh, yeah. Fantastic.
Dude, I love a strawberry salad.
no teeth. No teeth. Sometimes.
that's 8 by 80. That's the gauge now.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
And you know, when Renee was talking about this thing, and he's telling me the ring gauge, the size of it, like you would think I would know what that is, and I had a general idea. I
Oh,
did
no.
not. When I walked up there and I saw the ALRs, I'm like, oh, Renee did them right.
Hey, look, Burley showed up so we can spill more whiskey.
And
Burley's not spilling anything.
I have an ALR with
right.
me, but when I saw this, I was like, man, this
Green.
is on point.
Green in this
Are
segment.
we doing
Yep.
green? I need
green
a green.
in this segment.
I've already partaken a little bit.
I'm sorry. Can I get a green? Please, thank you.
Burley, you are such a pain in the ass.
I can see how this takes 3 hours to smoke. Like, I really want Sam to try this thing.
That's a good.
My green seems to have run
one more
away
time.
from me as well.
Renee.
You think you can handle this thing, Sam?
No. I don't want any part of that thing.
That's a great football cigar.
Yeah, I can see it, yeah.
Football game on a
Caleb,
You're like, sweetheart, there's only 15 minutes left of the game.
are you gonna handle us on what the green label is?
Yeah,
What's the name of it?
That is the St. Patrick's Day edition.
Okay, the St. Patrick's Day
Yep,
edition.
yep.
Thank you.
I started looking up a little bit and I got distracted with the lunatic.
slowly.
I get that.
This, I mean,
Novice.
8 by 80. Like I remember, what was it, the plastic cigars that they hand out during like Mardi Gras and all that.
That's what I'm talking about. What did
Yeah.
you buy off the carts? That's
Yeah,
what it looks like.
That's what it reminded me of. And
That size.
yeah, this thing is, it's probably easier to pretend smoke the plastic cigar.
Jackie, what are you doing? You gonna try and break another HDMI cable?
Can I get a little bit more of that one as well?
She's trying to get a picture of me with this lunatic next to my mouth.
Oh, there's plenty of that all over social media already.
These are good.
You can go pull
those
that from the
Florida's
live
are on.
stream. It's all over.
Those are made for me by Manuel.
Welcome into hour 2.
I'm surprised no one's commented on here, but like, Caleb looks like he knows how to handle that. Like, I'm scared. How do I ash this? Do I use 2 hands?
Jeez.
One hand.
You one hand and just gentle. Gentle.
You get a landfill.
I'm going to talk about your cigars, Renee.
This thing is, it's something. I mean,
How many
I could,
different- how
I
many
might keep that
different
wrapper
variations of
Oh,
the
yeah.
Fleur do you have?
for later.
Wrap it around 3 times.
Connecticut shade, which is the Ecuadorian Connecticut shade, and
I have to change the way I hold a cigar to smoke this thing.
6 sizes of natural. and
So
6 sizes of
Kathleen chimed in and says, I was getting ready to say it, Caleb, like you knew how to handle that. She was trying to be nice.
I want to buy some of these and hand them to my friends just to see their faces, because that's going to tell me all I need to know.
Yeah.
And surprisingly enough,
It's not a hard draw.
So much.
It's not a hard draw. It's an easy smoke.
And it's not a very heavy cigar.
No.
I mean,
Well, heavy. I mean, it weighs a pound.
No, I'm talking heavy in the smoke. It's more
It's a medium. Yeah, it's a medium body. The smoke itself isn't very heavy. It doesn't weigh you down. It's a smooth draw. Like
It is not a joke cigar. It's a
Yeah.
legitimate great smoke.
I thought that it would be, just funny to smoke it.
Right.
But it's a pleasant cigar. It really is. It really, really is.
Now, if you don't want something that big, they make the Lunatic series in a whole bunch of different sizes. Probably our most popular size is the 6x60, which is called the Titan, and then we also have a Robusto, We also have a little one called a Junior, which is about a 5 by, I think about a 42 ring gauge. You know, so if you don't want something that big, you can still get the same blends, just in smaller cigars.
Whenever you're ready, Sam.
Man.
We got 2 segments left, right?
What is the green, Caleb?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're 8:30, so
That's the St. Patrick's Day limited edition.
Are we ready?
waiting on you.
3, 2.
Welcome back to the Sam Stokes segment of this week's episode of Implicit Bias. I'm your host, Kevon Bordelon. In hour 2, we are brought to you by William S. Nacall Jewelers, 3802 Johnston Street. Go see Grant Galatas. Tell him you're looking for bigger, better diamonds for less, or you're looking for the Waterford lead-free crystal decanter that's used for deep blue on Implicit Bias. Create your own infinity bottle, and let me tell you, you won't be disappointed. 3802 Johnston Street. Go see William S. Nacall Jewelers. We've got the crew here. To my left, we have Burley Short Pour Pellerin, who has managed to maintain his final pour of the flight here at Mr. Lester's.
No, he cheated.
He
got
cheated.
another one.
I got another one.
Yeah, he did. He got another one. We figured that. Sam Stokes in the corner. Sam, have you actually been able to partake of weekly whiskey here tonight?
I've been partaking in the whiskey. Yeah.
Okay. That's why we've had to restart so many segments.
yeah.
That's what I figured. Renee Gerard of Piper's Haven, who's introduced us to the cigars here at Mr. Lester's. Renee, thank you for coming, and thank you for walking us through that monster Caleb was manhandling over in the corner.
That and the Guanaco and the Vincuna and all of that stuff, too.
And then, of course, we have the Rustic Renegade, who is
manhandling.
who is nosing his final whiskey from the flight that's available here this month at Mr. Lester's Steakhouse. Caleb, do you want to tell us about the St. Patrick's Day edition, if you can get the microphone pried from Renee's cold, dead fingers, the St. Patrick's Day edition of this Kentucky Owl?
So this one's similar to the Meister. It's a blend of Kentucky Owl's bourbon with an Irish. So an Irish blend is another gentleman whose name I could probably pronounce if I tried really hard, but
It's not that time.
It's not necessary.
So this is a blend of 4 to 11-year-old bourbons. It's a 3 blend. Man, that Meister comes at you right. This one is it's very different. This is more of what I expected. It's a little youthful. This one, I didn't get the number of bottles like I did with the Takumi. That's 25,000 bottles. I didn't find how many were made, but I know it was a limited production, so they're not making it again. They may make it again next year. Very different.
So is this 100 proof as well?
100 proof as well. All of these were 100 proof. This one tastes more like, and look, when I was younger, Jameson, I never drank it neat. I drank Jameson and Sprite, and I get that kind of flavor profile out of it.
It's much more Irish whiskey than it is bourbon, as opposed to the Meister, however we want to pronounce it, which that one was a little more complex. This one is a little more straightforward.
It is.
It is still incredibly
I haven't
smooth.
tasted it really well yet. I got like half of it down. I need to taste more, but on the nose, I got powdered sugar. I get powdered sugar and like orange zest. Not just orange flavor, but like the orange zest that you normally put on your old fashions, that kind of thing. When you
peel,
go to taste
orange
it.
peel, not
so right on the nose that's what I get on it. I'll tell you on the flavor here in a little bit when I get a little bit more down my gullet.
Burley, I'm curious as to what you think of this Kentucky Owl St. Patrick's edition.
Well, St. Patrick's, I'd go with Lucky Charms.
You get sweet?
I get a little
sweet. Okay.
I get a little sweet on this one. It's very good, very smooth. Again, the proof fits right in with the flavor profile of it. Actually, it's it does. You mentioned the powdered sugar. I get a little sweet more than what I typically like, but still, I'd have a hard time calling this a bad whiskey.
I am with you. If there's one thing I can say about every single offering from Kentucky Owl, it is that they are all proofed perfectly.
Perfectly for the profile.
Yeah.
No
I
doubt.
mean, absolutely
The
perfectly.
interesting thing with these bottles, though, is that, and maybe that's by design, but the nose isn't predisposing you to
Agreed.
something that your palate's going to
Agreed.
disagree with, which happens quite a bit.
It does.
See,
It-
I'm not getting a lot of nose off of them at all.
We don't.
Yeah.
That's kind of my point. You get it. It's pleasant.
Yes.
But there's nothing so discerning and so overpowering that gets you to where, oh, now I'm going to taste this. We don't get that.
Right.
And so your palate is really doing the work.
Right.
Unfortunately for this bottle, and I say that very lightly, I get a little too much sweet with this one that puts it at the bottom three of the three, for sure.
Something that will not be oversweet is this cobia from Chef Willie Gaspard. We're going to, put tasting to this right now. This absolutely looks fantastic as we dive into this. And one of the things that, a comment that we got, which I feel must be called out, Lee Ritter has chimed in and mentioned, Caleb looks like a toddler dressed up for church, rocking that Mardi Gras plastic stogie. Right?
I feel like one smoking it, I'll tell you that.
But getting dressed up can be really, really cool. And one of the things that we found was it was a $20,000 suit, Caleb?
Yes.
It is a $20,000 ballistic suit. So when you think John Wick, think this suit. Think it looks like a normal, a high-end designer suit cut specifically for the person who's going to wear it. Yet it's bulletproof. I think I need one of these, Caleb, just for the heck of it.
Forgive me if I'm wrong. This is the maker out of Canada?
Correct.
Yeah. So any good ballistic vest they don't come in small, medium, large. Right? You get fitted for it because you have what's called back face deformation. Back face deformation is the amount of terminal impact upon the body. It takes 44 millimeters. Correct me if I'm wrong, somebody. 44 millimeters.
It's 46 actually.
Of back face deformation to kill a human being.
I thought it was more like 47. But.
So you want to make sure it's tailored and fit to you properly. And the beauty of this is you can buy his a level 2A and level 2 and 3A. 2 will stop 9 millimeter 40 caliber, so forth. 3A will stop up to a 44 mag. It's very, very impressive because when you start working with these kind of fibers, you're talking Dyneema, Kevlar, Honeywell makes a lot of the products. They are hard to cut and keep their integrity. So the fact that a tailor can sit down and work this, have it cut, go back and run the stitching that's needed on the material itself, and then sew that into the actual suit is very impressive.
It is incredibly impressive, and they look great. I just wish that the video wasn't private on YouTube because I couldn't get in to watch the video and see exactly what the testing looked like on this. Speaking of testing, we are testing this cobia from Chef Willie Gaspard here at Cypress Bayou Casino, Mr. Lester Steakhouse. It is a broiled Oscar cobia topped with grilled asparagus, sautéed lump crab meat, finished with red pepper hollandaise. And oh my goodness, is it delicious. Burley, I saw the look you gave Chef Willie.
This may be the best thing I've put in my mouth in a long time.
And I noticed how quickly or how much he was tempering what he said.
Well, I was trying to, but there's really no way around it. It is absolutely
delicious.
Divine. Yeah, it really is.
You ought to have something at 8x80 first.
Sam's over there passing that plate around as we continue to talk about this. And Chef Willie has a couple more courses coming, which we're going to fit into the show. Matter of fact, I think we have 3. We've got a grilled apple crown brine Duroc pork chop topped with a Abita root beer demi-glace. We've got a grilled prime New York strip topped with blue cheese butter. Are you kidding me? And then for dessert, it's a grilled peach fritter drizzled with spiced bourbon glaze, served with maple bourbon pecan ice cream and grilled peaches.
Jeez.
Fellas, here's what I know. You think the guys at the New York Times were just flat out jealous when they wrote tasting expensive whiskey? Because let me tell you, I think they're missing out tonight.
They should wish they were here.
Yeah, I'll bet they do. And you know what? We'll invite you. Fly on down. We'd love to sit you right here in the Top Secret Podcast lair. Maybe it's not this one. Maybe it's the one in Lafayette, which doesn't have all the food. But we'd love to have you sit across the table from us and explain your point of view. Because that's what Implicit Bias is all about, right? It's all about your point of view. So, okay, it is time for us to rate this bourbon flight on the Morse Whiskey rating code. Red, I wouldn't drink it even if it was free. Yellow, I would only drink it if it was free. Green, I would buy this at $30 for the 3 pours of Kentucky Owl. Or blue, I would seek this out. Burley, we're going to start with you. Red, yellow, green, blue.
Dude, I am getting.
Don't make me punch you.
I'm getting in my truck right now. I'm going to find where this stuff is.
Well, it's right here at Mr. Lester's.
It is divine. For 3 to go back to back like that, even though I downplayed the third one, this is divine. This might be some of the finest whiskeys we've had.
It might be. Renee, let's go to you.
It's definitely worth the $30 for the flight.
So are you a
three
green
of
or a
them
blue?
All 3 of them are blues.
All 3 of them are
All
blues.
3 blues.
I would agree. Let's go to Sam, and then we'll go to Caleb.
Yeah, I'm not gonna give all 3 blues. The first one was very good. I don't know that it reached blue level. I think the first one was a very good green.
The Bourbon Bully.
The second one was a blue. The second one was absolutely
But we're
tremendous.
rating the flight.
Oh, we're rating the flight?
Yeah, as a flight.
Are you not paying? You're not paying attention.
I mean, this is what we do. We rate whiskeys. The third one.
I was gonna tell him.
You know, whenever Burley first said Lucky Charms, I thought that was like one of the wildest things I've heard. But as I'm sipping more of it, I'm really getting a creaminess from this last one. This what is this? The Irish.
That's
It's the St. Patrick's.
St. Patrick's.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a creaminess to it. It reminds me of oh man, what's the name of the Cajun dessert? That's like a bread bread pudding.
Bread pudding?
Yeah, I'm getting like a bread pudding, so it's like a creamy cinnamon kind of.
Did you just say cinnamon?
You know,
Cinnamon?
we all can't pronounce all the words, and that's one for me. That
Have
I
you
struggle.
had that much weekly whiskey here?
It doesn't matter how much weekly whiskey I have. That word for me is a
Okay, fair.
That's a tough one, man.
Fair.
It's like Caleb holding small cigars, I guess. Struggling to adapt to reality while the Joker's smoking a comically large cigar over there.
It's impressive.
Yeah, I guess I'll go blue for the flight. I mean, it's a tremendous journey, and it's really cool how they've finished these in all these different types of whiskey, where you get the Irish, you get the Japanese, you get the Kentucky kind of, fly the gap of whiskeys. It's a really cool experience for $30.
I absolutely agree that the entire experience of all those, to be quite honest, I wasn't overly optimistic. And oh my goodness, has it exceeded the expectations. Caleb?
I mean, look, every time we come here, or every time we have a flight from Mr. Lester's, I'm offended by the price they charge. I really am. Especially after tasting these, because I didn't have high expectations, because I hadn't had these. And man, Kentucky Owl hit it out of the park. It's a blue, and I would buy this every day of the week.
And you know what else we would do? We would come back, catch the last segment of this week's episode of Implicit Bias. Right here on News Talk 96.5 KPEL. If you downloaded us on podcast, please click follow so you can get every episode. If you're watching it streaming, hang on, because you never know what's going to happen right here when we come back.
I love that Grant was just standing on the sidelines holding a fork.
It's right here. It's right here, Grant. How do you say it happened so fluidly?
He done passed it around that way. It's going to come back to Kavan and
the
I.
Wait, did Grant get some? Did you get some of this?
Grant got some.
Dude, guys, they're serving all this family style afterwards. I'm good.
The asparagus is delicious too. Like, it's cooked perfect.
try that.
It's not overdone.
I love me some asparagus, but it does affect me biologically.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
That's true with everyone.
Is it everyone? I thought there's some people
it's
that.
everyone.
All right.
I don't know.
What?
I don't know.
Wait, say that
Elizabeth.
again?
I enjoy it.
Elizabeth, what happens when you eat asparagus?
Not everybody. Some people have the genes, some don't.
I can't see her, but I'm sure she looked at you like right now. Really?
Well, Caleb's confused, so it sounds like he doesn't have the gene, the trait.
I mean, it doesn't bother me if that's what. I don't know. I don't
It's
think it does.
everybody, right?
Oh, all right.
I don't think it bothers.
I don't
me.
think it's everybody.
Look, Randy's
makes you
shaking
pee
her
stink.
head because
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty potent no matter what, right? Like, I mark my territory.
Okay.
You don't go outside and mark your territory?
I
Sam?
just can't take you seriously. You got a giant cigar in your head. I'm sorry.
I should have this cigar in my hand when I mark the territory.
Grab a piece of that.
Hold.
Dude, that is divine.
I feel bad because I'm chewing on the tip of this. Yeah, but it's hard not to.
Well, yeah, because you're afraid he's going to come.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of weight to hold out there
Whoa,
in front of your
did
face.
you just have to reset everything again, Sam?
No, man.
Yeah, what was that?
Chef Willie?
Oh, this is the pork chop. Oh, my goodness.
I love you, but I hate you, Chef Willie.
You know, I wrote
So-
down how long the last segment was, but Walker doesn't believe me, so I'm having to go back and check to make sure.
So, Chef, if you would,
Can you do the strip and the dessert at the same time?
Welcome back
Because that
to
way
the
we get it
Sam
all
Stokes segment of this week's
in
episode.
on the show.
All right, I can see why this takes 3 hours. I can see. It generally doesn't take that long, but tonight it will.
Aaron.
No one got that? Oh, well. But I don't have enough hands.
That goes to the ladies, right?
Oh, that's a beautiful fish.
That's my son with about a 40-pound cobia.
That's a beautiful fish, man. That's impressive. Oh,
Oh my goodness, that pork chop is ridiculous.
Oh, shit.
oh, I heard you say it.
The other white meat.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the rock right there.
I mean, look, I've smoked this thing down
The Rock.
maybe an eighth of the way, and it's still a
Grant.
ridiculous cigar.
Are you in?
I'll have some. You don't need to feed me. I'll have some. Oh, it's pre-sliced?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pre-sliced.
Yeah, he pre-sliced it so.
Chef Willie thought of, like, he's on point.
Oh, Chef Willie is all over it.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, my God.
Let me do this while we're in break.
It's been this good this whole time?
I got one like that to show you.
Oh, yeah, we'll get that bottle, too. Man.
Wow.
I really, I'm very, very impressed how Kentucky Owl, whoever took at Kentucky Owl, thought of doing something like this. Thought of going across
the guy
the globe.
from Four Roses, who
Yeah.
I've been singing Four Roses praises for 4
I mean, they went
years.
out, they thought, let's jump across the pond. We'll try a few other things. This is stepping outside of a lot of wheelhouses. This is going on an edge.
Burley.
And it is impressive
Everybody
for
try
them to do
that.
what they've been doing. It sits right. It
Oh,
really
they got
does.
their own. Oh,
They
well,
got their own over
hey,
there,
bring
but
that back over
hang
here,
on.
bud.
I'll take one more piece of it though.
Hey,
Wait, why are the pours so short?
I see what Grant's doing now.
Because we have one more segment. After that,
Oh.
I don't care what you do.
Oh my God.
Oh, that
So,
is
Sam,
insane.
did you prepare Walker for this at all, or?
How can you prepare one for this?
It's a valid point. Valid point.
Walker, dudes talk. One of them's gonna hold a comically phallic cigar.
Thank you.
You gotta keep recording, bud.
I don't know if it's comically. I mean, this is average.
Buddy, that is comically phallic.
Caleb, there you go.
Thank you.
Grant?
When I put down this baby leg, I'll grab that glass.
Oh, absolutely. I poured 6, so you can take.
No, I got mine right here, babe. Thank you, honey.
Pass that to Sam, please.
Sam.
Oh man, what's this?
This is our weekly whiskey
Thank
from
you,
the
ma'am.
news.
Okay.
I haven't had it. Have you had some? Have you had some?
Oh
yet,
yeah.
Grant?
No,
Take a
eat
bite.
up.
Take a bite.
Dude.
Wow.
Trust me, you don't want to go after this.
It's pretty good, Grant.
Thank you very much. Oh, no, we're good.
I love how you're like, it's good. It's pretty good. Like, I can only imagine your pillow talk.
I have found that whenever you go to a steakhouse, a lot of times the pork is slept on, but like generally, if they have pork on the menu, it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And it's like a lot cheaper than the rest of the stuff. So
Hey,
Whoa.
if you're like
I'll-
me
Caleb,
and you don't want to spend that money,
I make sure she sleeps on
Even-
the pork.
Back home, I'm telling you, one of the best pork dishes I've had is at La Pizzeria.
Mm-hmm.
Back home, he's got a pork ribeye. I'm guessing he still has it on the menu. Randy, if you would, let me know.
old Tsunamis used to have a really, really good
Did you just say tsunami?
Tsunamis?
Tsunamis.
You know, if anyone's out there watching this while they drive, which they shouldn't, they just rear-ended someone else.
Yeah.
Like Sam, you got fighting words tonight, man. You
word
mispronounced cinnamon.
If anybody's out there watching this while they're driving, stop.
It's
Yeah,
like,
please don't.
let's
Look,
stop.
we want you to watch, but we don't want you to watch that bad.
Let's reflect on some
let's-
decisions we're making
Let's just
right
be
now.
realistic about it. Someone is. I mean, we had. Look at what happens. I don't know if y'all saw the news. Did y'all see the civilian contractor for the Air Force who walked into a propeller on a drone?
No.
You were telling me about
Yeah.
On a drone?
Yeah. So they were.
Wait, it's a contractor?
It was a civilian contractor, female, which is very, very unfortunate.
Yeah.
But she was reading. She was reading the
really
drone
12
on like a
minutes.
Palm Pilot, like a PDA device,
Oh, no, we don't have time for that.
and just walked right into it.
You had to
gotta hold it.
hold
Let's
on.
go.
I got a P2, man. We're all in this together.
All right. Caleb, can
All
you
right,
fill us in on that bottle when we get to it coming into this segment?
Yeah, hold up. Let me try
is
the.
that bottle in the shot?
What
let
is
me
this
try.
one?
Oh, yeah, try the pork chop.
Pork chop. I'm pass this to Grant. You can try my cigar.
Caleb, slide that white bottle closer to the other ones. Yeah. What a guy.
I want to know who. Hey, I want to know who they used to determine if that's a 3-hour cigar. That's got 3 weeks written all over it for me.
It's, yeah,
On average, I mean, is that like a Renee 3-hour cigar? or is
probably.
that- how do they determine that?
Let me see that, Caleb, and then slide it back. But take your bite. Get
Knock
your,
it
get your,
Oh yeah, most cigars.
That's a lot of cigar.
Most cigars will sit there and time it, and we know about how long.
3 hours.
Oh. Oh, no, that's fantastic.
no, it's
yeah,
good.
that's really good. What's in that? What's in that sauce? Yeah, what did he
That
say?
is that's the Abita root beer demi-glace.
Oh my God, that's good.
That sauce is awesome.
That's just nasty.
Come on, you see that message on your screen there?
I want a Sam T-shirt filled with his quotes. That's funny.
Tsunami.
That's the rock pork chop, bro.
Tsunami. Spell that, Sam.
That starts with a T.
Wait, that's Little Tsunami? That's T-Tsunami?
Tsunami.
Man, that's T-Tsunami.
My cousin.
Yeah.
That's my little cousin.
It's not a big wave, it's a little wave.
It's my little cousin.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, Lord.
We always talk about how we add S's to every restaurant in town that doesn't actually have an S. So it's
Oh,
like
yes.
Tsunamis and Pamplonas and Centrals
And
La
La
Fondas.
Fondas.
Yeah, exactly.
That's terrible.
All right. We got 12 minutes of this shit show left. So
12 minutes, and the lottery story is the last story. John Mode, I hope you're still watching because this one's just for you.
Are we ready to roll?
We're waiting on you.
Caleb looks like he just got some news.
So Chef Willie should be bringing the strip and the dessert during this segment.
Ooh, that's going to derail things.
Yeah, it's going to stink, right?
Yeah, I would like to eat that bone.
Does Sam need the big cigar?
You did not.
Meow, meow,
did
meow,
not go
meow, meow.
All right, we ready to jump? Caleb, are you good? Are you? Man looks preoccupied over there. Looks like he just got
Lordy.
drafted.
Lordy, lordy,
You're
lordy.
right.
I read things that I haven't read before, and it blew my mind.
Okay. All right, 3, 2.
Welcome into the final segment of this week's episode of Implicit Bias. I'm your host, Kevon Bordelon. We are brought to you in hour 2 by William S. Nacall Jewelers, 3802 Johnson Street. Bigger, better diamonds for less. Grant Galatas is here in the top secret podcast lair south, a.k.a. where we are live streaming from, if you're watching this on social media, which is the Cigar Lounge at Mr. Lester Steakhouse. To my left, we have Burley Shortport Pellerin. Sam Stokes is in the corner making his swan song appearance in our streaming episodes. And of course, across the table from me is also the Rustic Renegade. Renee Girard of Piper's Haven is also in the house. He's been with us as we get ready to close this one out. So let's get to some first things first, which is our weekly whiskey from our weekly whiskey partners at New News Markets, Youngsville, Scott, Milton, Maurice. We're going to go through this relatively quickly, but there used to be a brand called Belle Meade out there. And Belle Meade was one of those, everybody, to Sam's point, everybody was sleeping on Belle Meade, a Tennessee whiskey done very, very well. Well, Belle Meade is still around, but Belle Meade isn't called Belle Meade anymore. It's now called Nelson's. And what we have, Caleb, do you want to fill us in on this offering from Nelson's as we go around the horn and talk about it a little bit?
So this is their Green Briar. I don't have an age statement on it. It's 91 proof. This is supposedly their oldest recipe that they have. It's from 1860, 1861. And man, what confused me so much is it's filtered through, as Sam knocks everything over on his electronics, it's filtered through roasted mapled charcoal. I'm sorry, filtered through roasted maple charcoal.
That
Now-
explains a lot of the flavor. Now that you say that, I'm like, oh, yeah.
And it's weeded, which weeded to me,
Yep.
normally I don't really go for weeded.
I don't either.
But it hides it well.
Man, I was shocked at the first sip. We are proof hounds here on the show. We like things at 128, 130, 135. We're good with that. Matter of fact, it's kind of our wheelhouse.
Yep.
But I got that first sip of this and I was like, I like this. Burley, what'd you think?
Got the sweet.
A little sweet.
I
'cause
got
it's
the
weeded.
maple right off the bat, and that's, I don't know. I'm nonplussed about it. Not
Okay.
great, not terrible. Probably an enjoyable, easy drinker. It's low proof. What it's not
91.
90. Is
91.
it? I was gonna say I don't think it's 90.
Yep.
Easy drinker.
It
I
is an
guess.
easy drinker.
A little too sweet for me. Too much on the nose.
I'm going to tell you what this really reminds me
It
of.
confuses me too much in my palate, like we were talking about a while ago.
I'm going to tell you what this reminds me of. And tell me I'm wrong. It reminds me of Weller Special Reserve. The green label Weller Special Reserve reminds me a lot of that. The sweet is kind of what separates it. But man, it's a weeded just like Weller Special
It's
Reserve.
that weeded, and I don't know. Do they feel compelled to sweeten it up because the weeded is just not great?
It's
I don't
no,
know.
I disagree. But see, you don't like weeded. I like weeded bourbons.
I don't like weeded.
I'm not a big weeded guy either, but I mean, it's not a dessert bourbon, but it's close.
It's very close. It's too sweet.
What is the dessert where they do the cinnamon roasted and like candied apples? I can't think of
The
it.
dessert where they do
There's a
cinnamon
dessert.
roasted.
They do like a roasted candied apple on top of normally ice cream, that kind of stuff. I can't think of what it's called. That's what this reminds me of. I get where the Weller because of the weeded and everything else, but it's finished so different.
Okay, Sam, what do you think?
I get the Weller call a little bit. I think it's a little bit more rounded than Weller
agreed.
and a little
Agreed.
bit sweeter, which makes it not as fun of an experience in a way. I think the what makes the Weller so great is that it gives you that 1-2 punch of kind of that bite along with that flavor, whereas this kind of rounds off the bite and then gives you a little bit more sweeter flavor. So it's a little bit less of a desirable experience. At the same time, still a pretty good sipper. I mean, I am one that has been along for the ride of both. What is the quote? The expensive whiskeys.
Oh yeah, tasting expensive whiskeys.
I have been in both the penthouse and the cellar of this show, and
you
understand that there's a wide range.
You have been in the penthouse and the outhouse.
Yeah,
we do our
exactly.
best to keep you in the outhouse as often as possible.
So I think it's great. It's necessary to point out that we've just had 3 pretty darn good
And there's the other
offerings, and this one normally I think this would be pretty darn good on its own, but in the context of the show coming on at the end, it's kind of missing the mark a little bit, but it's still in its
Well,
own right. It is pretty good.
to your point, it's just not in the class, maybe, of the ones that we've just had. But also, you have to understand that it's not in the price range of the ones that we've just had
That's
either.
fair.
I mean, if we take a look at the price range on this, and let me get it for you because I made sure to take a picture of it. What's the price range on it? On this bottle?
Retail?
Retail at
right
News Markets.
Right at $35 to $37.
This is a
there you
$29.
go.
This is a $29 bottle. at New News.
Manufacturers suggested retail is
MSRP.
$35 to $37.
At New News Markets, this is $29 and change.
And look, I think, and I've had Traveler recently. I say recently,
Yep.
I've had Traveler. It's a little sweet. It's a weeded as well. It's a blend, which is a blend. I would buy this before Traveler.
Okay, so I would agree with you here. Let's talk. Let's
You'd
talk
buy this
about.
one before the
We
Traveler
gotta
10.
we gotta talk about the food that's in front of this bottle because we were just treated to something. This Duroc pork chop is off the charts good here at Mr. Lester Steakhouse. I mean, you think steakhouse, you get steak.
If you smell.
Sam, do you know what I think about your opinion about this? It doesn't matter what you think,
I
right?
had a feeling you were going there.
Yeah, I figured that was the case.
It's the people's pork chop.
Yes, it's the people's pork chop. This is the people's pork chop. If you have this pork chop, you will never want another pork chop again. That's all I can say.
I tell you what, Sam said it during the break. He said if a restaurant offers
A pork chop?
a pork chop, usually that's like a sleeper dish, and you should venture out and try it because if it's anything like this, if they're bold enough to offer a pork chop in a restaurant,
And
Brother.
truthfully, like normally when I go to a restaurant, the only pork I get is bacon. This is impressive.
This is fantastic. So look, I am hoping we hit the lottery with this pork chop. Speaking of the lottery, and I'm really hoping we hit the lottery because we're expecting that New York strip with the blue cheese butter and the peach dessert before the end of this broadcast, which we're going to hang around live stream, make sure it gets out there. If you miss it on the radio, go find the live stream. Go to our YouTube channel, go to our X. Sam is going to do some things, and how is that for timing? Here is the blue cheese butter New York strip. So let's talk about the lottery while we talk about this, because John Mode was kind enough to send something that was, quite disturbing in some ways. There are people who are claiming, and there is something that is undeniable. One of the ways you know that I was going to be here, or one of the ways you know that I didn't win the lottery at 1 billion, is that I'm here. Because if I won that 1 point something billion, guys, I love y'all. I'm gone. Just so you know.
See ya.
You'll never see me again. But there are now people who are concerned that the lottery might not be on the up and up because the Powerball has had multiple issues when they get to big jackpots and they start delaying drawings.
It was just 3 hours. Come on. It's not like the winner was sitting there with like waiting, looking at their numbers, thinking they bought the same numbers for the past 15 years. And then all of a sudden they had to do what? 2-step, 3-step, 4-step verification. It was something pretty out there. And look, 3 hours to do 2-step. I've had to wait for a text from the VA before for 2-step verification to log in. Maybe that's just how long it takes them.
Here's the big problem. Excuse me while I swallow that piece of New York strip. It's fantastic.
Here, you want to smoke this for a little while?
Oh, my
It'll
God.
relax your gusset.
No. So here's the deal. There are people who claim, and they filed this through social media, that at 3 o'clock in the morning, it showed 6 winners. Then at 4 o'clock in the morning, it showed 3 winners. Then all of a sudden, only showed 1 winner. So people were running the number of winners through the system and claiming the whole thing's rigged. Here's where I think, and here's what I think as this goes through. Data packets. Yeah, data packets. In other words, the drawing, while they claim it's all this stuff, it's really a digital interaction. And if data packets start going through systems that should or shouldn't be connected to other systems, what happens to those data packets? They get manipulated. This is where my brain goes with this, because I'm looking at this and I'm like, this should be simple. There's no verification or anything. Put a bunch of ping pong balls in a freaking bowl, shake them up and pick out 6, and then put another bunch of ping pong balls in a bowl, pick out 1.
Yep.
This is not rocket surgery, people. Right? Yet, we find ourselves in this situation where all of a sudden people are going, man, data packets. And look, we're going to post this to our X. We'll repost it on our Instagram, our Facebook, so you can see what we're talking about. Like you can see that blue cheese, butter crusted New York strip that, oh my God, is off the charts. And then the dessert that we have here at Mr. Lester Steakhouse. Let me get you the full description. Grilled peach fritter, drizzled with spiced bourbon glaze, served with maple bourbon, pecan ice cream, and grilled peaches. Oh, party foul. In the bar. All right, fellas, the strip.
Can we eat now? I mean, can we wrap this up? Because these little tastes are.
Yeah, they.
I want a big piece of that fish, and I want a big piece of that New York strip.
Man, I don't know. The pork chop was really good
and
too.
a pretty good piece of that pork chop too.
So here's what we're going to tell you. It is getting time for us to wrap up this week's episode of Implicit Bias. We hope you have enjoyed. Stick with us because we're going to have more and more continued stories. We're going to continue to make news used and abused by the New York Times, stolen from MSNBC. You name it, it's happened. We are your Implicit Bias, and we hope you'll be back with us next week.
What
All
a
right.
show, boys.
Is that what blue
Dessert.
cheese tastes like? I hate blue cheese.
Yes,
And
that
that
is
is-
what blue cheese.
My
is.
wife
said-
is.
Not a big fan
You
of
said
blue
that
cheese.
last time with the ribeye he
And
brought
look,
us.
my
that
wife's
last
sitting there
time.
saying she told me so for years. I haven't had the dessert yet, but
Hey, baby.
like I made sure to
How
get
is
extra
that?
blue cheese on my steak, and oh my goodness,
It's okay.
oh
It's fine.
Bruh.
Baby.
Yes.
Those three. Nothing.
that
Fine.
In the words of my 13-year-old, bruh.
yeah, like
Dude,
All right,
he's
and-
13.
Yeah.
Oh dear God.
Yeah,
I'm still
already.
thinking he's 10.
No, already 13.
oh my goodness.
All right, Grant, you moved on to the sweets. I don't eat sweets, so look, pass the protein, bro.
Oh holy hell.
So
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Y'all enjoy all the sweets you want because
Oh no, look, they're gonna serve family style for us after this. So
jeez.
okay, so for just a second, I want to thank everybody out there who watched the live stream. We appreciate y'all being around with us. Yeah, we have some fantastic viewers, some fantastic listeners. We appreciate you guys. Yeah, Brian Harmon chimes in. Interesting lottery hypothesis. Wait until the New York Times hears about it. Yeah, I'm sure they'll write an article about it.
Yeah, I'm sure they're going to follow up right away. I'm like, you know what? We should look into this.
Yep. And we do. We respect the pork
I
chop.
had a bite.
We respect the pork chop.
Normally, I don't eat peaches because they're fuzzy, but peaches. How's Jack
Oh,
Black's
don't
song go?
lie. Don't lie. You love a fuzzy peach.
I'm over here singing the Jack Black song. I'm like peaches,
Who
peaches,
done?
peaches. Oh man.
Well, that's the whole thing. I mean, it's $1 billion on the line. You think they're leaving that up to real chance?
After taxes, that's what, like 364 million.
It was after taxes because it was 600 and change, 60% of that. I want to say it was something like right at 400 million. That's if you take the cash option and you pay the taxes immediately, as opposed to create a trust, dump the ticket in the trust, pay zero taxes, and just draw the interest off the trust. That's a whole different.
Wait, say that.
I don't know if they'll let you draw off the trust though, because they'll only
No,
pay
you
into
pay
it for your life.
No, you pay. No, what you do is you take the cash option and
then-
pay zero
yeah,
taxes
and then
because it
dump
goes
in.
into a
Yeah,
trust.
you roll it over
That's
to the
right.
and
trust,
then you
yeah.
and then you pay taxes on what you take out of the trust,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
on the whole,
Not on the lump sum.
not on the whole $640 something
Yeah.
million dollar lump sum, right?
Look at you giving tax advice.
No, I don't know tax advice. Please don't take tax advice from me. This is just what I had heard.
Yeah, no, because you only take what you. Yeah,
Yeah, you only
put
take
it
what you
in a
need.
trust.
You can
take-
invest,
you take
work
a
with the
draw,
rest.
you-
Thanks for watching the live stream. Come down to Mr. Lester's. Tell him Implicit Bias sent you. We hope you have a fantastic evening.